The Thylexu's secret must be in their seminal fluid. Our tests prove that theirs does not carry forward in a straight genetic fashion. Gaps occur. Every Thylaxu we have examined has hidden his inner self from us. They are naturally immune to Ixion probes. Secrecy at the deepest levels, that is their ultimate armor and their ultimate weapon. Bene Gesserit Analysis Archives. Welcome back to Dune Saga, everyone. I am Eric at Marone Recluse on Twitter, your chronicler for this epic multi-arc awesome adventure series, which continues tonight with our second storyline, Overtures and Curtain Calls. This program features adult situations and language and may not be suitable for all ages. Listener discretion is advised. We are Vorpal Tales, and we play a wide assortment of games 7 days a week that fall into two categories, awesome adventures and terrifying tales. So be sure to check the calendar on vorpaltales.com to stay up to date with all of our shows. In the way of special announcements this month, we want to spread the word about the upcoming Onyx Path Publishing Convention starting on June 11th. Vorpal Tales will be hosting and playing in several World Chronicle and Story Path games that week. And if you'd like to get in on the action, check out the FAQ article on intercom.help/start playing games. Just type in Onyx Path 2021 in a search and click on the link that reads Onyx Path Virtual Gaming Convention 2021 FAQ to find out how to sign up. Storytellers can earn 40% of every game ticket they sell at the con, with 50% going to proceeds for the Bodhana Group, and the rest to Start.Playing. The Bodhana Group is a nonprofit organization that advocates the use of tabletop gaming as a directed therapeutic and clinical practice that can benefit personal growth as well as enhance social and educational services to individuals and families. To learn more, head over to www.thebodhanagroup.org. Vorpal Tales is, of course, sponsored in part by Wales Whiskey. Always Wales Whiskey, always a whale of good time. And Large Marge's Donut Barn, one of the best donuts you've never had. Dune Adventures in the Imperium is out now, so don't forget to pick up your copy in PDF or physical copy on DriveThruRPG or at modiphius.com/Dune. While you're on DriveThruRPG, check out some of our very own Vorpal Tales supplements that are available for sale. They include characters, monsters, and scenarios made for many of the games we play weekly. Remember to follow Modiphius Entertainment on Vorpal Tales on Twitch. Visit our website to join the Discord. We're on most social media outlets, including YouTube, where you can catch up on previous episodes. So remember to follow, subscribe, and hit the bell to get all the updates. We want to thank Modiphius Entertainment for making awesome games for us to play and for providing support to their players. Heartfelt thanks goes out to Tyler's brother at Nate Mid for the awesome character sheets he makes for all of our games. And we want to give a special shout out to Infraction, Repulsive Sound, and Blear Moon for the use of their music. You can find more excellent ambient sounds and tunes over at blearmoon.bandcamp.com, freemusicarchive.org, YouTube, and SoundCloud on the Repulsive Sound. Also, we want to thank Astral Virtual Tabletop for being the platform of choice, perfect for hosting our games, and providing excellent music for us to play. As always, we would like to give a big thanks to our patrons for supporting what we do and for helping us to grow. Be sure to check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/VorpalTales to find out how you too can be awesome and support what we do. And last but certainly not least, thank you, our viewers and fans, for tuning in. Our house entourage is here and ready to engage in the deadliest of intrigues. Agents of the Imperium, remind our audience who you are, where they can find you online, and who you will be playing this evening. Beginning with Rachel.
Hello, I am Rachel. You can find me at Stolen Fires pretty much everywhere. Usually Instagram and Twitter, that's where I'm most active. I'm going to be streaming some Mass Effect on that name too, and tonight I will be playing Daphne, the heir apparent of House Cheshire in maybe another house? I don't know.
Excellent. Ever.
Hey everybody, I'm Ever. My pronouns are they, them, and tonight I shall be playing Lysander, whose pronouns are he, him. And he's hoping he doesn't lose Daphne this time. It's a fun game, but only so many times.
Very dangerous game. Devin.
Hello all, I'm Devin. You can find me online at Sword of Sullied, and tonight I am playing Norma, the Bene Gesserit consort to House Cheshire.
Excellent. Key.
Hello, I am Kisama. You can find me on Twitter at TrueKisama, and tonight I will be playing Pado Reed, the Mentat, who's kinda questioning the house by this point.
Hmm. Tyler.
Elder Checo's online, and I am playing Gwillian Teg, Assassin and Master of Spies.
Last but not least, Sean.
Hey there, I am at Space Lord PJs, and tonight I will be playing Davos Blood, the messenger / smuggler for the house.
Well, thank you. And now, if it pleases the audience, could ever please regale us with your retelling of the previous session?
Certainly. The session opens with some out-of-character detailing regarding our conflict with House Carroll. It revolves around fulfilling an order for stealth ornithopters and House Carroll thinking they could jailbreak our technology. But we're smarter than that. And House Carroll's disappointment festered into a full-blown vendetta. Back on Marco Binge's trail, Davos surmises that despite the violence of the attack, Binjo likely got away. He looks for witnesses and puts together that Binjo escaped a carefully planned ambush. Davos brings this information back to Gwillian before speaking to anyone else. Lady Daphne evaluates the house running this planet. They have a reputation for corruption and graft, and people must wear respirators when outdoors. A recent scandal involved a disgraced house functionary who aspired to marshal, but she was turned away when her rivals mysteriously ended up dead. Probably people we don't want to involve in our house affairs. Binjo, we learn, has been taken to essentially a prison farm built into the side of a mountain. It's a high-security facility where exceptionally valuable prisoners are kept. We settle on a plan to exploit the political situation, especially the warden's vulnerability to blackmail to get him out. Gwillian checks in with the rest of his people, but it'll be a while before he receives a response. Daphne asks around about Binjo and why the people after him were willing to expend so many resources to catch him. She's not as discreet as could be desired, and catches the attention of a particular figure. Lysander notices this and leads their trail into a place where he can confront them. Lysander threatens him, and the target reveals they're a face dancer speaking in code. They think we're of their faction. He reveals the orders were to sabotage or destroy Ixian tech, in order to destroy Binjo's reputation. There's something about an axolotl battle tank? Drawing on what she remembers of how Gwillian speaks, Daphne sustains the ruse and convinces the face dancer to leave them alone. Successful at this, Lysander and Daphne melt into the landscape to get away. Meanwhile, Pardo is being challenged as he brings our ornithopter into the nest. He openly declares our alliance with House Cheshire, impressing the guards. The prison is bleak, windy, and cold. Pardo and his entourage of Norma and Gwillian are led through the prison to meet a lanky, older woman with short-cropped gray hair. This is Vera Romina, the warden. He passes himself off as seeking a consultation here. Jabberwock doesn't have a mountain to turn into a prison, so what would she recommend we use? Distracting her, Pardo steals a glance at some holographs on her desk. It's a recording of another woman, with just enough information for Gwillian to copy her. But Vera isn't pleased, and hides the holograph back in her desk, letting slip that Mona is some old, bad history. Just the leverage we needed. Gwillian breaks into Vera's house, appearing as Mona, while asking Pardo to break the ornithopter in such a way that will take several hours to fix. Rifling through Vera's possessions, Gwillian uncovers some very compromising love letters from Mona. Oh, shit. Vera's the failed candidate for Marshal. Meanwhile, Davos has been arranging for a shipment of food and supplies to the prison, along with one empty box. Now it's time to get Binjo out of here and into our loving custody. after Daphne gives Quillian a brief report on Lysander and her encountering the other face dancer, and the strange terms they heard. Pardo gets a hold of a random prisoner to engineer a fake prisoner exchange with, and arrange for another meeting with the warden. Pardo, in disguise, asks directly for Marcus Binjo, but he's turned down on grounds of national security. You could be concerned with national security, he says, or your personal security, displaying copies of Mona's letters. Vera recognizes the letters and orders her security personnel out before demanding to know who we are. Grudgingly, she hands over Binjo. Norma doesn't think she's likely to betray us here, but will certainly come after us when we're somewhere less populated. Quillian promptly shoots her with a poison needle gun, stuffs her body under the desk, and takes her face. He escorts us for the prisoner exchange. Davos waits at the train with the crate and loads Binjo into it. Uncovering his shroud, Binjo asks, "Am I free to go now?" Davos says, "Eventually, but not now." Quillian, however, realizes this isn't Marcus Binjo. This is a face dancer. He wants to speak to Quillian privately. Davos, however, prefers to dangle the face dancer from the train as an interrogation technique. It turns out that this captured face dancer has always been Binjo, intending to destroy a segment of the Ixian black market. Seems like the real Binjo has been dead for a while. However, some of the face dancers wanted to retrieve a memory capture technology, important to their own religiously driven goals. He reveals where this technology is, next to where they left Binjo's body. Quillian hands over the genetic information he stole when meeting the Emperor, which is enough to compel his cooperation. That doesn't stop Quillian from poisoning him, though. He grudgingly leads us into a Semuda den. Semuda? C-E-M-U-D-A?
Wrong spelling, but the right sort of pronunciation. Samuta.
Oh, Semuta, okay. The upper floors of which is where he claims to have stored Binjo and his Ixian tech. Pardo finds Binjo's body, dead for approximately a week. Next to him is the Ixian probe device. Pardo figures out very quickly this device is heretical, according to the Butlerian Edict against thinking machines, but he understands how to use it. Attaching it to Binjo, he summons the dead man's entity. He gives the name of a scion of House Vernius on Ix as the leader of the black market trading. It turns out that House Carroll has been using this to take apart our spy network. Before the construct collapses, Pardo asks if the construct is alive. It says that it is. Pardo dismantles the probe and says he'll dispose of it properly. When he returns, Daphne asks if her sister is alive. He doesn't know. Norma slips away to do a little face dancer murder. Regrouping, we decide the best course of action is to head directly to Ix. On the long journey, Daphne and Norma discuss Calum Vor Corson, the Ixian scion operating the black market networks. He's got a reputation as a party boy and plans to host a rather large shindig very soon.
Excellent, thank you. All right. So previously you were following the trail of these Ixian black marketeers who have been moving these Ixian probes, which your enemies have been using to disrupt the flow of information from Daphne's sister Alicia, who's been, of course, deep cover for years under House Carroll. So in the pursuit of this, you've come to find that the source of these, or at least a major player within these black marketeers, is this scion from House Vernius, uh, Kalen Vorgosan. So you followed that lead and you headed straight to Ix, directly from Varan's 5. Upon arriving, how exactly do you want to handle your emergence from the Hayliner? Are you going to try to make this a diplomatic call by giving a heads up to House Vernius, who is the ruling house on Ix, or do you want to take a more low-key approach? Since this person is a very public figure there, and he is part of the house structure, as it were.
So, if he's a party boy, then I think our first priority should be getting an invitation to this big shindig.
Okay, so I would imagine you would then announce your presence when you reach Ix and say like, "Hey, we're here. We heard that there was a big party going on. Are we invited?" I'm guessing that's the approach you want to take with that.
Yeah, like a little more subtle than that. Like, oh, we're here on a diplomatic mission. Who should we make contact with? Oh, you mean there's a party? Oh, and we're invited. We are honored. We are so honored.
That's good. You could sort of like ingratiate yourselves into their graces. Who would want to volunteer for that job exactly? Because that's a lot of schmoozing you got to do.
I feel Daphne is pretty well suited for this.
Absolutely. Any other takers?
You know, I hate parties, but I would go because otherwise you're going to get yourself into trouble.
I mean, it's so gauche to show up without an escort.
Right. Gauche.
Norma would be good to go.
Normal, you going to? Anybody not going?
Pardo would not be going to the party.
Me.
He has
I'm
more
not going to a
important
party.
plans.
Okay, so are you not going to the party, or are you not going?
I'm not going at all unless instructed to. I don't do social. I do murder. I can find a balcony seat and shoot somebody if you want, though.
I mean,
That leaves Davos then.
It would be useful to have Gwillian somewhere, like, at the site, just in case we do need a whole bunch of murder done.
I'll find an assassin perch.
Okay.
You send one of your assets?
I mean, it's me either way, right?
Sure.
Sure.
So I'll put you down as a maybe. What about Davos? Is Davos gonna accompany the rest of the entourage?
Do I think, or does Davos think that they might be able to swindle some smuggling deals out of some rich people who want to move some stuff?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially if you do manage to get in contact with this Kalem Vorgosan person, you would probably be able to set up a lot of different deals that you normally wouldn't be able to do to get access to, because we're talking about Ixian technology. This is like some of the most cutting edge technology in the entire Imperium, and it literally costs lives to get this deep into a Ixian black marketeer circle. So this is kind of like potentially the goose that laid the golden egg for you. If you can get in good with these people, you can get into a lot of interesting places, especially prior to heading out towards Arrakis in the near future.
Okay. Then yeah, Davos will then probably go. If nothing more than Daphne can just be like, "Hey, meet my smuggler."
Okay, excellent. So you put together your little group, and
I
sorry,
would not
go ahead.
introduce Davos as my smuggler. He is my trusted trading partner.
Right. The
He's
messenger.
your treasurer. He's the house treasurer, of course.
Exactly.
Right.
Just has a really good head for trade deals.
Right.
I don't
Absolutely.
ask questions. That's his job. I don't do his job for him.
Of course. You put together your entourage, and The interesting thing about Ix is that when you requisition a lighter to take you down to the planet's surface, you're flying for quite a while and nothing happens. You're just kind of flying around. You look around out the windows, at the viewports, and you're searching. Your eyes are searching frantically for some sort of structure, some sort of sign of civilization, and there's nothing. And you're just flying over landscapes, over rolling hills and stuff, and you're like, this was the most technological place in the universe. Like, what the hell's going on here? There's nothing here. And then all of a sudden, the lighter turns a sharp 45-degree angle and starts heading towards the ground. And you're like, what's happening? And then you hear the pilots on the lighter like coming into Verney City now. And you see, like, you're not sure if it's a hologram or if they're actual massive doors that operate on the planet's surface, but all of a sudden you're flying into this enormous cavernous city. It's just this incredibly large cavern, and nestled inside this cavern is this tremendous looking city with lights deep in the underground surface of the planet surface here. It's just like, it's just beyond your imagination. You're like, wow, I didn't expect that. You've heard stories about like how secretive Ix typically is and how choosy they are with who they allow in and everything like that. But as soon as you cleared your bona fides at the port as a house minor here on a diplomatic mission, like, oh, please come on in, you know. So they bring you down in this lighter, and it's like a world inside of another world. You land at the spaceport, and they start, taking out the cargo and everything like that. They let you off. It's this big, bustling city underground, and then all of a sudden, like whatever light was coming in from outside is occluded, just like a shroud. And all the lights, the only lighting that's down here is what's coming from the city itself. You do see, though, that this place is a little odd in terms of like the citizenry. There's very obviously still the caste system that's been established from the Frelich's caste system that you're familiar with in the Imperium. But here it's very, very pronounced. Not like, oh, these people are slaves or whatever, but there's definitely a subclass of worker person here. A lot of them are probably because they spend the majority of their time outside of the sunlight, and they're nestled underground. A lot of them are like hairless, bald, sort of grayish skin. They almost look like the Tleilaxu that a lot of people have heard about, the very reclusive and xenophobic Tleilaxu. And they sort of like you hear them called suboids. Like they're basically like the subterranean worker people belonging to Ix. So they do a lot of the manual labor. They take you, they drive the ground cars, taking you where you need to go and stuff. They work at all the different places and things. You've heard in your in your upbringing, you've all heard stories about like the revolution that took place on Ix and the invasion that took place by the Tleilaxu in places like Verney City. So this place has a lot of history, and it goes way back. Very, very dense history that occurred here. A lot of stuff that happened over the past, easily last 20, 30 years or so. Now it's kind of calmed down quite a bit, especially with House Vernius, the one house that was once upon a time a sort of renegade exiled house that came back. One of the few houses that has ever been restored to their rightful place, I guess you can call it, or their place of power, in which case that being Ix itself. Once you get onto Verney City, where is it exactly that you imagine your entourage going to make contact with House Vernius? Do you go to like the local embassy or whatever, or do you try to like trying to imagine like how exactly your entourage would arrive and just be like, oh yes, and why weren't we invited, and so on?
I mean, what would be the classiest way to do this?
I would imagine it would be you would probably walk into like I see them walking into like a public institution, like a greeting center just outside of the spaceport, and like being met with like delegates from the house, like that you're sort of like standard fare house retainer is there to just sort of officially greet you to the planet and to the city. They would have like a sash that is the color of the house, which you see House Vernius's banner is something akin to like a. Just make sure I get that straight because I don't want to mess that up. You're probably greeted by somebody or house retainer of some sort at the just outside of the spaceport, and then when they realize that you're from House Cheshire, the retainer sort of beams and it's like, a diplomatic mission. I see, my lady. Welcome to Verney City, all of you. I welcome you to our humble place of residence. Please come this way. We shall take you to a place wherever you like within the city, for whether you're here for business or pleasure.
Oh, I have only one objection, in that this is most certainly not a humble city. This is one of the most glorious metropolises I've ever seen.
You humble us with your presence. Please, come with me. I have arranged for transport. And you see the house retainer, who doesn't give a name, he just sort of points out the subway workers who bring out the different ground cars, and like the doors sort of open up for you, and they urge you to get inside, and they'll escort you to wherever it is that you want to go. There's a number of different places here that they point out when you drive through the city. The retainer kind of talks about like, oh yeah, we have the Grand Palais, there's the Ixian cores of manufacturing, we have the Ixian shipyards not too far away, there's even a Bene Gesserit Institute here, if you believe that. It's like there's several different places here. There's the local university. What is it that interests House Cheshire here?
Oh, we're here just to take in the sights, but now that you mention it, and Daphne will ask some questions about the manufacturing, like manufacturing capabilities, especially for like finely engineered, and she's not gonna say it, but she's going to imply ornithopter wings to be like, we're here about ornithopters, but we're not really here about ornithopters, but we are here about ornithopters.
I've heard about House Cheshire's specialty with ornithopters. Yes. Oh, that's very interesting. Oh, yes, we could probably, I could probably take you to there's an Ixian conference of ships nearby. I could take you there, or where our manufacturing takes place, if you'd be interested.
Oh, well, if I could just send some of my men there. The ones who really know the right questions to ask. Not that we're not happy with our current vendors, of course not. But it's always good to know what the market's like in other places.
Of course. We can arrange for that. And so yeah, whoever you want to send off to the manufacturing centers and in and around Verney City, they can like split off, and they can go that way, and they can take you somewhere else, wherever you'd like to go.
I mean, so my normal inclination would be just like, let's just send like a couple NPC underlings there, because this is just a distraction. But if Pardo is just chilling back at the ship,
you put your mentat to work.
if you're not busy with anything else.
What would he be busy doing?
I don't do these people's jobs for them. I just let them know there's a problem, and then like a week later it's solved, and all these dead bodies, but I just don't pay attention to those.
What do you say, Pardo? Would you be interested in doing the lady's bidding and going to check out the Ixie manufactory for something involving ornithopter construction?
This would be the one time that Pardo would reply with, "Now is not the best time," but of course.
Oh no, in your own time.
Well done.
Very good. So yeah, they take you to where you would like to go. He makes idle chit chat with you. um, he calls himself Dinar. So he's like, how would you? He's like, what would interest you, my lady? And he shows you he very prominently displays the House Vernius banner, which is that it's like a diamond, a dual color diamond with like a helix, but the helix is constructed of it's like a double helix, two different colored helix. He's like, what? He's like, well, if your group is not opposed to it, I can take you to some of the local sites, unless you had a more specific place that you wanted to go, my lady.
Oh, well, this is, quite clearly a social call, and so we would love to support our social ties with House Vernius.
Of course.
Like, I'm gonna try to, and I'll roll for this if you want, just say, we're here to make friends, so can we please get an invitation to that party?
Sure.
Really
Implying
subtle
things
way.
without actually saying them. Yeah, a very subtle way of doing it. You can use communicate.
We're not inviting ourselves, but,
Sure.
communicate. I'm kind of tempted to choose power for this one. Nah, I think duty. I'm going with duty because
I would allow you to do that, or faith, I would imagine, because a lot of this, for you personally at least, is about your sister and reconnecting the line of communication with her.
Oh, my faith is so bad. Oh, duty.
Interesting. Duty,
No,
okay.
Faith is my worst score. I'm very practical. And that is
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm one short of a 20. That's a 19. Can I bribe you?
What did you get total? At least as far as successes.
I got a 14 and a 19.
Oh, I see.
Can I help?
It was 13.
You can, but you can only roll one die.
All right, and communicate and duty. That is one success.
One success. Okay. That's good enough to kind of put the idea out there, hey, you make a mention. It's like, oh, we just wanted, this is more of a social call. We were interested in meeting more of learning more about the House Vernius itself, since we want to, establish ties of communication with you. And then he just kind of looks out the window, and then Norma puts in the thing. It's like, yes, so if you know of any social functions where we may be able to find somebody like that, or somebody, or some way that we can make contact with them and establish ties. He's like, oh yes, of course, there's always a social function of some sort taking place on X, of course. It's like many of our retainers, many of the people that speak on behalf of House Vernius, aside from myself, of course, are constantly traveling back and forth and busy dealing with other major house matters in the Landsraad and what have you. We rarely get many guests here, to be perfectly honest. Not from, at least not from other houses. This is a major port of call for mercantiles and such. So for social calls, it's not. We don't usually see that sort of thing here. Although I will say that we are throwing a very large gala, if you'd be interested to attend. One of our more hard to find retainers within House Vernius is going to be attending said gala. If you'd be interested to meet with them, I'm sure they'd be fascinated to meet with you.
Oh my goodness, you flatter us. We would certainly be honored to attend.
Denab is just like, tell me, do you like the opera?
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, and this is such a fine rendition of blah 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 that was going to be playing in the Verney City Opera House. not very soon, I might add, within this week, in fact. If you'd like, I can put in a good word and make sure yourself and your entourage can be invited for such an event.
I don't know how I could miss it. I think we're going to have to extend our visit by a few days.
You say that with a smile, and everybody just kind of nods and like, okay, sure. Then I was like, well, of course, I will have to, of course, establish contact with them and make sure I put in a good word for you and your entourage here, House Cheshire. It's such an honor to have you here. Very well, then, I will make arrangements for the rest of your party to make it to the manufactory on the other side of the city, so that way they can see what sort of great works we have here on Ix to share with the rest of the Imperium. And I think here we are, he says, and just as like the ground cars are starting to slow to a halt, he brings you outside of a large series of buildings. It's sort of like this big annex, and it's like this is like their guest hall. It's like where a lot of like the merchants and people come in from off-world. They stay here, and they have like sort of temporary quarters. Not exactly a hotel, but it is structured in such a way that like every person that gets admitted here has like a suite room or something like that. Very hot, very posh, interiors and such. It's like, please, let our people accommodate you in these in our elegant lodgings. And it's like, did you have any particular needs or wants, individually or as a group? Looks at each of you in turn.
If that's doable.
Do what?
Simply a place to freshen up, if that's doable.
Oh yes, of course. Right this way. And he personally like leads you and I guess Lysander down the long hallway, and there's like a refresher room or whatever. It's just like a little sitting room. It has a couple like bookshelves, and then there's like a couple of different doorways that lead into areas where you can refresh yourself. So there's like a sink and like a large bath and stuff like that you can use to do whatever. And he's just like, I'll leave you to your devices. Please do not hesitate to call on myself or the rest of the serving staff here in the annex. Yes, please enjoy your stay on Ix. And with that, he sort of does like a curtsy and bows and turns around and leaves the room. The rest of you are free to do what you like. Beginning with Sean, is there anything you want to do while you're here?
So, does there anybody in this room or anybody in this place seem useful at all?
A lot of servants, a lot of subvoids, not really many people of importance. A lot of merchants, though, you've noticed. As you walk in, you recognize some people as they walk by, like, oh. And you see, like, it's not just them by themselves. They walk with bodyguards, and they walk with other servants who carry their things, and some of them even brought like real animals in here from other worlds.
Oh.
So yeah, you see them like lugging their wares and on dispenser carts or what have you, and it looks like this is like one of those places that they're stopping before they go on to some other location.
Any of them look approachable?
Yeah, most of them seem pretty approachable. Sure.
He'll go. Is there a bar?
Yeah, I'll say that there's like out in the annex, there's like a building that is specifically like a large hall, and they have like a large bench where you can acquire drinks. There's like multiple bartenders there, and they serve all manner of different concoctions from throughout the Imperium.
He'll grab a bottle of something not cheap but cheapish, with a few glasses, and just sort of walk around with one himself, half poured, and just try to approach any fine-looking merchant, and just sort of try to start up a conversation about what's moving in and out, any big scores that they've heard of, that sort of thing.
Are you trying to elicit like secret information or just like general information?
Just using simple language to sort of be like, hey, who's the people to talk to that for the bigger scores? Who's got the goods? Who's got the who's trying to move some stuff that might be a little more difficult to move.
Make a communicate check.
A
That's gonna
communicate
be
check.
interesting. Mm-hmm.
Oh. Let's see. Let's go with. All right. That is. Oh wow, that is 3 successes.
3 successes. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. You asked one of the merchants in the hall, who's there just sort of resting, and they're sampling like a very fine wine,
Mm-hmm.
and he's with some other courtiers that are with him. He looks like a water merchant, possibly from Arrakis. You're not sure. Funny looking hat, robes, and it's like, oh, you weren't interested in moving hard to find technology on Ix? I would be careful who you mouth. I would be careful who you talk to about that around here. He says.
What's the
I
reason?
don't know if you. There's been a very large crackdown, as I understand it, or at least that's the rumor. As far as the rumor mill is concerned, Vernius has started to crack down on the black marketeering that's been occurring around here. If you get my meaning.
And supposedly, the sisters here on this planet, right?
Yes,
or there's
the Sisterhood has a chapter house.
No.
Chapter.
No, the person we're tracking.
Sisters on House Carol.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the best way to find out what happens to her goes through this planet.
And he doesn't actually say black market stuff. He just says like illegal goods or forbidden technology. He's like, I'd be careful with who you talk to about that around here. And he's like, from what I've heard, House Vernius has begun cracking down extremely hard on anyone who would try to move illicit materials back and forth from Ix, especially of Ixian manufacture.
Any connections or any know-abouts of House Carol's dealings on Ix?
House Carol, shit. Oh wow, okay. I understand that they were interested in. He was like, well, it's outside of my area of expertise, as they say, but I have heard that they have interest in Ixian-made technologies. What specifically is anyone's guess?
Interesting. If I were needing to be acquiring things that you shouldn't be acquiring, who might I talk to?
Well, you didn't hear this from me, but there are some elements within House Vernius that have been moving in such directions. I don't know any names. I've only heard rumors that there are some within the house that don't that say one thing while the official house policy touts something else entirely. If you ask me, I think they're making money off of their own sort of embargo against illegal and illicit materials.
Thank you. And he'll leave the bottle with him and walk away. Immediately trying to make a call to his black market contact, his black market trader, and see what connections, who's the who that's smuggling inside of House Vernius, and with connections to possible House Carol.
Okay. So you have a contact on Ix, specific to trading, smuggling stuff in, and so on?
I have an asset that's black market trader, so...
Ah, that's right. Okay, good. And excellent. All right, so you put that into play. How much momentum do we have in the track, Rachel? You have a list?
Rachel's muted.
Sorry. I believe 2. I am not
Magic
at
number.
my normal machine.
That's all right. 2 is fine. That's exactly what you need to put an asset into play for that scene. So yeah, we can use up the 2 momentum, which would put you at 0 for the moment.
Okay.
And you can use that contact. Anything specific you want to note about your black market asset, like what they look like, what their name is, anything like that?
No, like we tend not to talk about who or what we are. So like
Never meet in person.
Never meet in person. Always talk on like weird channels.
Okay.
They do meet occasionally, but like they tend not to describe or let each other know what they look like.
Okay, interesting. So you have a secure number or secure line that you can reach out to.
Right.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Let me all right, your contact tells you some information and it lines up perfectly with what you've heard from the others, where you have basically there's only one name that's attached to a lot of the smuggling and black marketeering that takes place on Ix, and it's just some rando smuggler that is yet another stepping stone towards this Kalen person, the scion that belongs to House Vernius. Apparently, the name that you were given back on Faron's 5 is a very secreted person. They're not very easily found, even on Ix itself, where they typically stay. But they do have that reputation where they attend certain parties or galas or what have you, and that seems to be that they are able to afford you this much information by saying, yeah, this person doesn't work like we do. They don't use like secret channels and shit like that. What they basically do is they meet you in person. So they have some way, or the way that they conduct business is very unorthodox. They'll meet you in like a VIP room or something like that. They'll suss you out there, and then they'll decide whether or not to do business with you. But you imagine that somebody of that caliber would not be doing so alone, meaning he probably has at least a bodyguard or more, or other people that surround him as his own sort of entourage, that basically check people out before he actually, like, sort of like act like a buffer or a filter before he actually brings the people to him and to conduct business, or even to suss out what exactly it is that they want. So there are levels of getting to this person.
I was just gonna go bold or go home and start dropping that House Cheshire wants to talk to him.
You want to, okay, so you want to deliver a message to this House Vernius contact for the Black Marketeers and lie to them and say, oh, House Carol wants to set up a meeting with you, etc. That's going to be your cover?
Or yeah, you know what? Let's say that House Carol wants to establish a talk with them.
Somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
At the gala or whatever that's coming up.
Perfect. Okay. That will probably be a secretive communication thing. So yeah, you could probably this one you can make a communication test, but do you want to buy any threat as you're currently out of momentum?
Can I just blow determination point on this one?
If it matches with your drive that you're tying your skill to, then yes. If it doesn't, then I'll have to challenge you, and then you'll have to do a key from last week.
Let's see. People are the true. Well, that's duty. No, let's not do that one.
So yeah, you can only blow a determination point if it matches the statement that for that particular drive. If you don't, well, then you're kind of out of luck, and then you have to deal with the devil and either buy a threat to gain additional dice or take a chance and roll 2d20.
So duty is people are the true strength of the great house.
I'm trying to be sneaky and make it seem like you're not actually there on behalf of your house.
Yeah, fuck it. Give me threat.
How much do you want?
Give me 2. I'm gonna roll 4 dice.
2? Oh, shit. Well, if you want 2, that'll cost you 3.
Oh, okay.
You
Well,
want 3 or
whatever.
you just 1?
Yeah, let's
Okay,
go
3
for
it
it
is.
because I just rolled 4 successes, so suck it.
Okay. What did you roll any 20s?
No,
Any 19s?
no.
That is
These are all
surprising.
single
Okay.
digits.
Impressive. All right. Applause. You get 4 successes. Very good. Hold on a second. All right. Give yourself 2 momentum,
Okay.
and yeah, you're able to deliver a convincing message through your contact to Calum, saying, "Hey, House Carol wants to meet with you for some additional services, for some Ixian tech." He's like, "Give me 2 days or so. I'll get that message across in time for the gala." They say
Okay.
for the opera, and that's all right. So well done. Moving on to Daphne and Lysander. Anything you want to do while you're? This will take a couple days, so you have some time to do stuff in Verney City before the big event, as it were.
I mean, get a fancy dress and probably be on the lookout for more gossip. Because, I want to make a good impression and I also want to know exactly what I'm walking into.
Sure. All right. Information gathering. Let's see. Anybody who wants to assist in that can also add a d20 to their roll. You go ahead and if you want to gain specific information about like the guests or anything like that, or
I mean, since I'm there with Daphne, I can assist.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, so who will be there and specifically if anybody from House Carol will be there?
I rolled a 5, which is
really good.
this was for am I just rolling this die or am I comparing it with my own scores?
This is essentially a communicate test. So you're rolling 1d20, and you want to roll under
Okay.
your communicate plus whatever it is that you're matching it with as far as your drive. So if it's
Oh.
duty, you add duty plus your communication. That gives you the score, and then you roll 1d20 in this case because you're assisting Daphne, and that's a success. So
Yeah.
yeah. So you get at least 1 success added to
Yes.
your pool.
I rolled another success that is below my skill.
For mine, it was
Excellent.
at my communicate skill at 5. I
That's
don't
fine.
know if that counts as
Yeah, 5 or
like.
less. Yeah,
Okay.
because you're adding it. You're also tying it to a drive. So if it's 5 and 5, then that's 10. You roll a d20. As long as you meet or exceed, if you meet or hit below that number, you get a success.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, that's absolutely. You'd think I'd get the system by now.
It's all right. We're all still learning. Any 19s or 20s rolled in any of those tests?
No.
Okay, so no problems. How many successes did you get for Daphne?
I got 1 and it was under my skill.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so you got. Okay, so that's sufficient to get information about the guests that are showing up. You find out some information while you're trying on the dress at like a local tailor. It's an Ixian special made like tailored dress where it has like it shimmers like they have like these microfibers built into the dress that sort of are prismatic so that they absorb light and then they sort of excrete it out in very subtle ways, so you almost sort of glow like in the different fabrics that are woven throughout sort of make it almost seem like you glow in the right light. Like, oh, this is fancy. And you talk up the tailor, and you and Lysander do, and you come to find out like, oh yes, I have several other dresses that I'm behind on that I'm back order. There's several dignitaries coming in for this opera. This very very a very important function. There's some people from Chuseok, and you hear like a delegate from Chuseok. Immediately brings to mind a very religious world. It's called the Music Planet. There are people here. The people from there are largely about like art, music, and religious not fervor, but fumbling with the word now, but they adhere very strict, not super strict, but their adherence to their particular form of religion. Uh, there are some other major traders who trade in furs that are going to be there. There's some other dealers from different planets, especially around the area of Arrakis, that will be attending. There's a Chome. Chome sending advisors and delegates uh, to the opera. Chome being like the big mega corporation throughout the entire Imperium. Like they, you basically can't do anything as far as like commerce is concerned without going through them. So they're sending somebody representatives from their organization as well. And I say it's enough information to get some about some of the individuals that will also be appearing there. Somebody whose name comes up is House Drunenbar, and you're like, wait, what? Like, yeah, apparently there's one of their people is being sent as well from House Drunenbar. Are you familiar with them? And you're like, yeah, they're on our planet. House Drunenbar, if you recall, is the House Major of Jabberwock. So one of their people will also be attending said gala.
Interesting that. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Interesting that you were invited, but not us. One would think if you're trying to create some ties, you'd want both houses of the planet.
Suspect indeed. Yes. Norma, over the course of the next couple of days, is there something that you wanted to do in addition to that, in preparation perhaps of this event?
I was thinking I was going to, with Davos's assistance, finding out in the network of the guy that we're going after, if he had anybody who is like a loose link, like a loose, not loose link. My brain just died on the words, but
Right.
Somebody who is in the facility, or somebody who worked for him that was viable to be a traitor.
Oh, trying to find a loose link in the chain. Okay.
Yeah, that kind of loose link.
All right, you can make a communicate check for that and see if you can ferret out that kind of information. You need to beat at least 2 successes.
All right.
You have some momentum in the pool if you want to pull from that.
I make it instead discipline with espionage.
Yes, you can.
All right. Let's see.
You and Davos could be
4,
working
which
together
is
to put that
A
together.
4, which is 2 successes, and a 17, which is none. But since that's a discipline roll, I'll re-roll that and get a 3, which is also 2 more successes.
So you got 4?
4.
All right, you get 2 momentum back. You study over the next couple of days with the information that Davos was able to provide. You study the chain of people that are sort of like within the orbit of Gosar, and you do find one guy who is like, or you find a group of people actually that all work together, and they're basically the ship hands. They're the people who sort of when the products are brought in or taken out. They're the manual laborers. They're suboids who basically get to the spaceport. They load the secret cargo and they don't ask questions. They do this like in the dead of night or what have you. So they move around very surreptitiously. You've identified a few of them that work together at night, specifically when called on, and they prefer to hang at this particular watering hole down on a corner somewhere like on a downslope street in the city of Verney, and they stay there until they're hammered drunk, and then they go stumbling home. Usually, they make decent enough money to, they work during the day like as a day job, but their secret job at night is to load and unload the secret, black market cargo and as such. What do you do with that?
I informed William so that way, in case we want to slip in and add something to their cargo trackers and whatnot, so that way we'd be able to do that, disrupt the entire network in case this goes awry.
Uh-oh. William's getting involved.
William says, "The princess brought me here to be her assassin. You're going to have to pass that one on to Davos. I
Davos
will
is
not be more than 200 yards away from the princess."
Norma shrugs, hands it off to Davos.
What am I being handed?
information about people who handle black market tech when instructed to do so.
Okay.
Congratulations, you have new hands to put stuff into shipping containers for you.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to use that just yet.
That's fine. Pardo, you're staying. Are you staying on the planet itself, like within the quarters that everybody's been kind of placed in for the following week or so? Is that where you're staying?
For now, yeah.
Somebody knocks on. I'm assuming that while everybody is out doing things, you're just sort of like staying back and like sending messages out to get information.
Indeed.
As you've asked. Okay. A messenger comes, but not the one that you were expecting. You recognize them because they're wearing like a hood, and they have like a specific look to them. They recognize you when you open the door, but they don't. You see, like there's like through their visage, through the hooded cowl, you see like serrated-looking teeth, like jagged teeth, and this pale complexion. Where is Gwillian?
Who?
You pretend like Gwillian
Who's
isn't.
William? I have no idea who you're referring to.
You're gonna lie to them. Okay, that's interesting. Roll communication test. Fool them.
And
Oh.
Put truth on that.
Hold on a second. Something may happen just now. That's fine. You need. Did you get? How many successes did you get?
I got one success.
Did you want to spend any momentum, or did you want to buy threat?
That's never a good sign. Oh no.
I could just be bluffing.
How much momentum do we have? I kind of value my life.
We got
You
2.
have some.
Yeah,
You can
I
buy
had
one
2.
extra die. Unless you want to pay me a threat.
I want to pay a threat. I don't know. Yeah, I'll pay a threat for an extra die.
Okay. Excellent.
And that is a 2 on that die. Wow, 2 successes.
Okay. So, you realize that the person who's here asking for Gwillian is a face dancer. And specifically, they want to speak with them because they deliver a message for him. But only to Gwillian.
Would Pardo know the little hand gestures that Gwillian's done with other face dancers?
Do you have like Mind Palace or anything like that, or like a
I
specific?
do not
like,
have Mind
mentat thing?
Palace or any of that
Oh, okay.
sort.
Then I think he used it something similar to that last time, or somebody did. Oh, okay. You're gonna try to pass yourself off as Gwillian or somebody, or
Yeah.
Okay. That's gonna be a discipline roll, I believe, and he's going to scrutinize you.
Oh, yay. Okay.
Also, the hand language he's referring to is not a spy code. That's the actual Bene Gesserit hand sign.
So I might break a finger, is what I'm hearing. Yeah, discipline and truth. Yeah.
Makes sense, yeah. What
And
did you get?
two successes.
That's what you needed. Okay. So yeah, you're just like, I know William, and you kind of do like the weird little mannerisms that he's known for. And he's like, Master approves of your assignment. More incoming in time, he says, and like he kind of looks both ways, and then he kind of disappears, walks away. He leaves with you like a message cylinder. You know that there's an encrypted, coded message inside that you would probably have to rack your brain against to try to like crack. Do you want to risk opening it and examining it, or do you just kind of stow it away? Do you go get William? What do you want to do?
At this point, I think Pardo would try to crack it open and figure out the message.
That's going to be hard. And then it's probably going to take some time this is what's called an extended test. So basically, every success that you get under your understand, when you make the understand roll to try to crack the cipher, every success, no matter if it's a 1 or whatever, it counts as 2 successes towards the total. Because this is a very secret cipher that only the Tleilax will use, it's going to take you something like 20 successes over the course of the next 3 days to try to crack. Okay, so you have something to do now.
I have something to spend my time on.
Yeah. Yes, precisely. So yeah, go ahead and for the next 3 days, make an understand roll. Use your talents as needed. You're probably going to need some momentum and or threat to throw into that if you plan on succeeding. Otherwise, failure is likely, and this is the really important part. I need you to notate how many 20s you roll as during the course of, or 19s and 20s that you roll when you're trying to decipher this message, because misinterpreting it, one aspect of the cipher could completely fuck up everything else. So you basically need to get at least, the majority of the 20 successes, or actually you need to hold 20 successes over the course of the next 3 days. So you get 3 chances to do that. Have fun.
Yay.
I know what Bullian's doing. Let's see. I think that's everybody. All right. Is there anything specific that you do with the information that you've garnered thus far prior to the opera event?
Daphne would like to have a house meeting where we share what we've learned and strategize a bit.
Okay, cool. Where would you like to house that kind of meeting? Like, there's like a little foyer or like library sitting room inside the annex that you're housed in that you can go to. It's private enough that you can use, or you want to go somewhere else entirely.
Wherever Norma thinks is secure enough, because she's been the person who's been sort of taking point on that so far.
I'm gonna say, if that's the case, then I would say we're gonna sweep that room before we even start to do the meeting.
Good idea. Lysander can probably assist in that regard, since he did something similar on Gamont at the beginning of our tale. Well, yeah, go ahead and roll. This is going to be discipline, actually, which is right up your alley. Discipline for both Lysander and Norma. Lysander, you're rolling, since Norma's taking the lead, I would assume you're just assisting, so you roll a single d20. Anybody else who wants to assist can also roll. But I need to know any 20s or 19s that come up.
So I will make this a discipline and duty roll.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a 3, and that is a 10, which would be a total of 3 successes. But since it's a discipline.
You got a 7 from me.
Hey, how many successes is that? Did you get 4 so far already?
Yeah, that would be 4 then, because 3 from me,
Fuck.
and 4th from Lysander.
I didn't spend a lot of threat. I spent 2. But yeah, you beat it. The difficulty was 4, because
Hey.
the listening devices here are not your typical espionage fare. Yeah, you can. You're looking in the normal places, like you're looking for comm eyes, like on the walls, and like checking out the books and like the carpeting and all the fine, filaments and stuff like on the furniture, and you're like, fuck, you can't find anything in here. And then you look up, and you see like there's the light fixtures, and then you have the chandelier. Something about the way that the light shines off the chandelier, and you're just like, there's something right about this. Call it instinct, whatever, something, but you both kind of like hand signal with, or rather with your eyes, you kind of like signal to each other like there's something up with the chandelier, and you grab a chair, you get a boost, whatever, and you go check it out, and you find out like the wiring that is used to house and to suspend the chandelier is actually like all the different arms of the chandelier are essentially static comm eyes, like and they're very, very small, very, very unnoticeable. Only because you like use your hyper awareness to try to like find that you actually manage to pick up on that, like, oh, that's a listening and a visual device. Now the thing about recording equipment and the stuff like that in this world is that it's very rarely is anybody actually sitting there watching you at the moment. The way this stuff works is that somebody will put a comm eye down, walk away, and then they'll come back in a day or something like that, pick it back up, and then take it back to see what it managed to capture, right? This is a Shiga wire recorder that's wired into the chandelier itself. What do you do with that?
It's wired into the chandelier itself?
Yeah, like all the extremities of it are like little cameras and listening devices that point into different areas of the room. So there's nowhere to hide in here from whoever's watching or whoever's like listening in, as it were.
Lysander suggests just to chop it down and throw it away.
Rather
Whoops.
than that, is there a way that we can loop it so it temporarily?
That's tough to. Yeah, that's kind of hard to do, just because like there's no computers here, so it's kind of like it would be difficult to do. You'd have to like dismantle the thing and then like rewire it, and it's like you don't have the tools or the space to do something like that at the moment.
Is there a way we could jam it?
Possibly, yeah. Otherwise, you would have to use, unless you want to go real low tech and just basically have a conversation within a conversation. And this is something that Norma is very familiar with, where they'll tell you something like, hey, nice, and this is very, I think, very appropriate for an espionage house in particular, where you basically say one thing, but you're actually saying the other. Or maybe you're communicating vocally, but you could potentially use your eye coordination, like your eye movements and your house battle language to communicate something else entirely.
About to say, didn't we develop our own language, espionage language, as part of our house?
Yeah.
Yes, indeedy.
We did.
Oh, well, we might as well put that through its paces.
Right.
Because if you take the whole thing apart and you do all that sort of stuff, you run the chance of letting the person who's listening in know that you're aware that they're doing just that.
Couldn't you just turn the power off on it for 5 minutes, have a conversation, and turn it back on?
Right, but like the lights in here are not everything is wired in the same. Like it's not like you shut off a switch at the door and it switches off the listening device. That listening device is powered somewhere else potentially, why it's always on and always recording.
So Yeah, with the whole entire battle language, I want to, so we'll all know that that's what's going on. So currently, this conversation will be entirely in our battle language, so that it's not really known. And then I want us to afterwards hold a complete nonsense conversation about the other reason why we're here, which is complete and utter bullshit, and is strictly this is the whole reason why we're actually here, so that whoever actually is listening has that fake reason that we're here.
Yeah, so Daphne had an idea to that end where she wants to frame it like, so there's a seed of truth, so it's believable, but then, like, the lie that is also believable. So we are here because fuck House Carol. We are here to try and get an edge from Ix on Ornithopter technology so we can drive them into bankruptcy.
I like it.
So, yeah, so we're still here to fuck over House Carol, but, like, for different reasons.
Okay.
Davos
Cool.
will mention that he's got an invitation, or he's put out some feelers about posing as House Carol, that they want a meeting, and that Norma did manage to find 2 patsies that might be loose lips that can sink ships.
Alright.
Many different avenues, yes. So
Look,
you have some information there? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, we can certainly have those people questioned later. I don't know if we've got time to do it right now, is the only thing.
So with that information, William, did you attend this particular meeting, or were you just sort of like staying at a distance?
I'm there.
Okay, one way or the other.
200 yards of the princess.
Okay, so you're in on this information.
Currently,
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so you have that information. Pardo, did you also attend this meeting, or did you bring up any of the information that pertains to William, like the secret message? Did you keep it to yourself?
Pardo would be there. He'd be keeping most of the stuff about the secret message and things like that sort of under wraps. And he'd look a bit distracted, like his eyes are kind of glazed over half the time. Looks like he's deep in thought the whole time. At one point, someone might go like, Pardo, are you listening? And he'd go like, huh? Yes.
Yeah, so anybody who's trained in hyper awareness or like has crazy discipline would probably notice that the Mentat is a little bit preoccupied during this whole shebang and hasn't been really moving around too much with the rest of you. He's been kind of like hanging back. Moving on. In the next couple of days, you have the gala taking place at the Verney Opera House. How did you want to approach that? Did you all want to go as a group? Did you want to go in like groups of 2? How did you want to arrange that?
I think as a group would make the biggest splash because we're not trying to be subtle here.
Boldly moving in. I like it. Okay. Sounds good. All right. So unless there's any other things that are going to happen within the next day or so, we can skip right to the party. You're wearing your, I'm assuming, your finest house entourage outfits to this particular function. You're given instructions. Your invites come in, by the way. Not you, you're just someone else.
My finest armor.
Mm-hmm. Yes, your battle dress. Yeah.
Also, I would like to be having observed Pardo to try and figure out why he's being so distracted this whole time.
Ooh. Okay.
Excellent.
Distrust.
Roll discipline and truth, and I think it would be truth for Lysander, and I think Pardo will need to roll discipline and power. I think that makes sense. Unless you have another or better explanation, perhaps.
I feel that this would fall under my duty more than my truth. Because of the fact that I feel that he's behaving suspiciously because it's not like him. He's normally kind of a chatterbox, and what could be threatening him? What could be piquing his interest? Is someone actually putting his life in danger, and he is part of the
Okay.
house.
Mm.
Go for it. Roll.
Would I just be able
What
to
you
roll
get?
discipline and truth?
Pardo would have gotten 1 success.
1 success. All right, Sander, what do you got?
Got 2 successes.
Okay, so you find that they're distracted, and when you bring it up during the meeting, it doesn't sound like he's under a threat or anything like that. You don't sense that kind of desperation from him, but you do. He very much is somewhere else at the moment. Like his mind isn't completely into what it is that you're doing in the present moment. It seems like he's occupied with something else at the moment. You're not exactly sure as to what.
As long as there's no danger situation going on, Lysander will just eye Pardo and move along.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe
All right.
check on him later.
Yeah, he just seems to be going over some stuff in his room. Pardo, do you go with them to this particular gale, or do you stay behind and go over your try to crack the cipher some more?
Yeah, Pardo would stay behind the crack the cipher, justifying it with, I need to do a bit more research.
How many rolls have you done so far for the?
I have yet to roll. Just wanted to...
This would be the perfect time then. I believe you have some momentum in the pool.
How much momentum is in my budget?
2.
Did the group 2? 2 momentum? Oh, okay.
I don't want to let him have momentum for betraying his teammate.
No.
I mean, same.
Trial until he reads it and
Denied.
on it, and then it still matters now.
My budget's been denied. Okay.
No, give him the
Means you
budget.
may not be able to crack the code unless you want to pay me in threat. I'll happily give you.
Yeah, no, he totally went
dice.
down this route down his own. He has to buy threat.
Oh,
All right.
I track threat individually, by the way.
Right. Oh,
right.
in that case, yeah, I will spend all the threat. Yeah, if it's individually, like, I'll dig my own grave. There we go.
How much would you like?
6.
Oh,
I
lot.
need to crack
Okay.
this in, like, the quickest amount of time. Every second counts.
I said I tracked it individually. That doesn't mean I won't spend it individually.
I'm
But
deceived.
okay, you have 20. You have 20 successes to beat, my friend. Get to it. You have all 5 dice that you could roll now. For day 1, you have 3 days worth of rolls. So go ahead and make it the first one.
And I'd like to spend my determination for that one.
Does
Right
this
off the
just
bat.
link up with a statement under power?
It would link under that,
Good.
I believe.
Oh, what is that? What is that statement?
That statement. He who can destroy a thing controls a thing.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll.
And would deductive reasoning apply to this rule as a focus?
Deductive reasoning. Does that allow you to re-roll?
It would make anything underneath my understand worth 2 successes instead of just the 1, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that's happening already because this is
That's
a extended test. So every success you get, it counts as 2 towards the 20.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that would be 4 successes in addition to the 2 from determination.
Okay. Roll for day 2.
Can I just continue spending threat, or?
You can, or you have a statement that lines up with it, you can spend a determination point, and that'll automatically give you 2 successes as well.
Yeah.
So you can do that for each. And how many determination points do you have?
Now I have the one, and then it was what? Player votes were determination, or was it viewer votes?
The player votes are worth an advancement point for your character. I think the audience votes were determination points. Yes.
I think I have a few of those racked up somewhere.
You got a couple banked, I'm sure. So yeah, you can spend those if you want. Once per day, I'll say.
Yeah. All right. So I'll spend one of those good old votes. Thank you, guys. You're aiding in my betrayal of everyone.
So you got 6 for day 1 right off the bat. Day 2, you've got 2 in the hole with an extra determination point. What did you get in total successes?
Spending another 6 threat, if I may.
Oh my!
That's another 4 successes.
Boy. 4 successes. Wow. Okay. So you've got 12, 16 by day 2. You need another 4 successes to finish the whole thing off.
Another one of those friendly viewer votes of determination.
Yeah.
And 1 threat worth of dice. And that's 1 more success in the determination.
Yeah, that would put you at on the 3rd day. I think that would put you at 18, and then you just need 2 more successes.
Oh, 2 more successes.
Mm-hmm.
Before or after determination?
Because you went from 12 to like 16, and then the determination point on day 3 gives you 18, and then that means you need 2 more to hit 20.
Alright. Spend a little bit more threat for another die.
Oh my! How much is that? Is that 15 now?
That is
Isn't there a limit of the amount of threat that you can earn against yourself?
No, there is no limit for threat.
That is 15 threat total over the course of 3 days, as Pardo almost gives himself a stroke trying to figure this out.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
DM is
Got
now
the successes.
going to threat everything he does from here into eternity. Thank you, Pardo.
Pardo gets exploded in his own room. 15 threats spent in 1 stroke.
Else.
Nothing to do with anyone else. But I figured it out.
On the last day, how many successes did you get when you rolled?
Total of 3 rolled successes, and then
So you have 1 extra that you didn't need. Excellent. So you get 1 momentum in the pool, and you manage to decipher the message. What that message is, we'll find out after the break.
What?
Take 10. We'll come back at 10:37 Eastern.
47.
right, and we're back. Now that Pardo has deciphered the secret message from Bennett's Lilacs, the rest of the entourage is ready to move forward to go to this opera house gala, as it were. All right, Pardo. So, with the information that you gain from this message, it's actually a lot of information regarding Kyra and the genetic information that the Bennett's Lilacs were able to achieve by the information that was given to them. And to say that it's surprising is an understatement, because there's also information here that apparently indicates that they have people within the Sisterhood that have been reporting back and making contact with them and their agents in the field. So when you decipher the whole thing and you read the whole thing out in full, you're like, holy crap. And apparently this information was from William's master, as it were, which is, that's something. Because, at least to your knowledge, it was understood that William's master was dead, and that he was reporting only to the Duchess, as it were. So this right here is pretty big, and what you're able to understand, because your understanding of the Bennett's Lilacs is as much as anybody else's, and they're very secretive. So what you are able to grasp is only so far, but you do manage to get that the genetic information that was given to them about Kyra indicates that, and they were able to confirm this with their spies within the Sisterhood. She was part of a Kwisatz program, or the Kwisatz Haderach breeding program, which is not a surprise. The real surprise is that apparently the genetic markers, and this is the reason why they wanted so much information about her, is because the Sisterhood prized her precisely because of the genetic markers that they found in her, and some of their abilities they didn't fully understand that she had. According to the Bennett's Lilacs, that they're able to confirm what they only recently came to acknowledge, that Kyra herself is something unexpected in the Kwisatz Haderach program. This entire time, the Sisterhood has been marrying this person and this person of royal decree and trying to control the Imperium from behind the scenes, and trying to enact this supposed super being, somebody who can look forwards and backwards in time, and or rather to look backward through time on both the male and female ancestry. This is something that the Bene Gesserit do naturally when they undergo the spice agony. As women, they're able to look through their past through their female genetic line only. They can't look on the male side. So those who've tried have been driven mad. They can't handle it. It's too much. It's just you basically can look into and live. You can actually relive those lives and those memories, and pull from that like a knowledge. And it's just like a crowd that sits in your mind, essentially. What they seem to be indicating with the information that they gained from William, supposedly, is that Kyra is able to do both of those things, which is unheard of. Which would mean that she is potentially a Kwisatz Haderach in her own right. Something unexpected, truly, on the side of the Sisterhood. Essentially, it would be a huge embarrassment if that information were to get out, because if you can imagine, the Sisterhood world was always thinking, oh, it would be a man who would do this. Absolutely, they would be only a man would be able to accomplish something like this with our help, of course. So number one, that would be a huge embarrassment if that were to get out. Number two, that makes Kyra that much more important, not just for the Bene Gesserit, but also for the Bennett's Lilacs. The wheels in your mind start to spin, and you start to think, what would it? I mean, the Bennett's Lilacs themselves are masters of genetic manipulation and creation. They create people like William regularly. They're able to resurrect the dead, essentially. Not really resurrect them, but recreate someone whole from dead cells, are called golos. They're able to do all of those things. But with something, with the information that they have from Kyra, you can see where they can apply that knowledge to other areas. For instance, it is known, if you were listening to the beginning of the episode, the quote about the Tailaxu, the face dancers in particular are mules. They're unable to have children. They're unable to sire or have children, no matter which form they may take. With what you're getting in this particular message, it seems that this Tailaxu master is interested in potentially creating a field of face dancers that could do just that, and that would make them invaluable to them. They think. But also the genetic markers that Kyra supposedly has as a potential Kwisatz Haderach is tremendously invaluable to them, because so far the Bene Tlax have people guess that they have maybe tried to create something like that on their own and more than likely failed. But if it's true what they're saying, or what they suspect, that Kyra is potentially the unexpected Kwisatz Haderach, they could potentially try to create their own super being. I'll let you process that, and we'll just move right along for the big opera meeting, big opera gala. So, so the event itself takes place in the house in Verney City Opera House. There's a plethora of people there. There's a whole. It is absolutely choked with people in fine garb, merchants, important people from the entire spectrum of the Falfrelich's life in the Imperium. People from minor houses, people from major houses are there. Some people are unannounced guests, like there are secret guests in the notebook, so to speak. Like you don't know exactly who's there. Some people really paid for that much secrecy. They don't want to know that they're there. That's why it was important that earlier Davos made the check that they did, so that way I could determine what kind of information they would be able to get Daphne, how much information they would gain about who's on the guest list, because there's some people there that are very, very particular about being seen in this particular setting. But, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, would that be a communicate duty roll to learn that?
You already, this is what you did earlier. Remember when you were like asking around, like who exactly is going to be at this party? Who's going to be at this opera gala? And that's based on what you got certain amounts of information. If you had gotten more than that, then it would have been dropped like, oh, and supposedly somebody else is here as well, and that would have tipped something off. But you did good with what you got, but there's one factor that you didn't count on, or one factor that you didn't get as part of that role. But the people that you did find out about are all here. You managed to scan the room as soon as you get into this large area, this large opera house. The opera house itself is sort of composed of 7 major zones, if you will. There's the main foyer, where there's like a lot of the guests, and there's like tables that have delicious foods and drinks and things like that are brought in. There's the guest hall, which is a series just beyond a large series of doors where there's like 2 guards posted at. Long hallway. In that guest hall, there's a set of 2 spiral staircases that go up. The 4th layer, or the 4th zone, is the upper 2nd floor halls that run the gamut all the way down and back. And there's a series of VIP rooms that are upstairs that all have a balcony seating that can look down into the main auditorium, which is one of the final zones in this particular facility. And that, of course, is where the main audience fills in. There's a stage, and there's the curtains, and you have like there's even a pit where there's like there's an orchestra there, like playing instruments. Very, very nice. It is absolutely buzzing with activity and packed with people. upon entering the main foyer, and you look around, you see a lot of the different personages that you had come to find out about are here. There's this person who from Chuseok, this courtesan, who also appears to be somewhat of a scholarly man. He's short, he's stocky, he's got olive skin. He wears a very sort of ornate but stylized cross on his chest, like just over his house garb. He's very obviously like part of the nobility on Chuseok. There is also a tall, pale, sort of impetuous-looking, self-important man with sort of an odd hair color. He's got like greenish hair, but it's somewhat subdued. It's not like lime green or anything like that. And he's just sort of like eyeing people as they go by. You're not sure where he's from, but he doesn't look very pleasant as a person who you may want to speak with at least. There is a wealthy merchant woman who has high cheekbones, almond-shaped eyes, dark hair. She has what appear to be prosthetic eyes or tlilaxu eyes, which are metal in their construction, and they basically reflect, like they're reflective metal eyes. And she seems to be explaining something elaborate to somebody she's talking with through some sort of story, and she appears to be wearing very intricate looking, like a mink coat sort of thing, like animal pelts of some sort. Three more people. One of them, Davos notes immediately as someone that he recognized as a runner on Arrakis. This woman who has like, she has like shorn sides. She has like sort of like this pinkish colored hair, and she has a prosthetic ear, tlilaxu ear, like it's like metallic. And she seems to be just sort of like talking with a group of people. This is an antiquities dealer, quote unquote. You know better though. That's a smuggler. And this particular woman also wears a scarf and a jebba cloak, just like you. That apparently she wore very proudly upon her recent visits to Arrakis. Next is another guy who appears to be a very obvious Chom advisor of some sort. He is a pre-colored skin guy, dapper outfit. Each one of his eyes has a different color. And he has a big ring on his finger, very tall guy. And he seems to be surrounding himself with like gaggle of different people. He's just sort of talking them up and chatting them up, and he's talking business with some of them. And they seem to be listening very intently to him. He's a Chom advisor, so he knows, you assume he does the insider trading. And the last person of note is someone who appears to be a soup doctor. A broad-shouldered, tawny-haired older gentleman. He appears to have a slight limp. You're not sure why, but he kind of walks and he kind of leans on one side of his body. And he seems to speak with almost like an Irish brogue to him. And he's a sook because he has the telltale diamond black tattoo on his forehead that indicates Imperial conditioning. This is the before the performance, like the opera is housing all of its guests in the main foyer for drinks and hors d'oeuvres and what have you, and idle chit chat for probably an hour or two before the main performance takes place. You have some time to sort of get the read of the room, chat people up, what have you, as you will. Who would like to go first in that regard?
So Daphne is going to hang back for a couple minutes, and I would like to use my communicate specialty in body language just to observe what's going on and determine what I can from that.
Excellent. Roll discipline.
Okay.
That is where you have the body language on, is it not?
Communicate.
It's communicate. Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. Go ahead and...
Understand in social awareness and house politics, but I already rolled.
That's fine. Yeah, I would allow you to use the focus on and communicate. So, what'd you get?
I got 1 success.
One success. Is there anyone in particular that you're honing in on?
Would I recognize the Arakeen as Arakeen?
The antiquities dealer, the girl with the pink hair. She definitely gives off the rugged look, even in a place like this. Like, she's immaculately dressed, like she's dressed very well in this kind of space, but she also has a Jubba cloak on, which is like, what? And a scarf that is very obviously not considered like formal wear. So yeah, you can kind of tell that this is a smuggler here, more than likely. Especially with the way that Davos is kind of like, copying my look, I see.
I'm gonna let Davos handle that then. So the guy with like the lighter green hair who is also observing everyone, I'm gonna focus my attention on that guy.
Oh, very good. Excellent. You
Oh
see
God, no, can I change that?
You see he's just kind of sort of looking around. 1 second. Oh, good news. He notices you too.
Good news, everybody.
You see he's just like, and you're particularly focused on studying him, and he catches you looking as he's just sort of like scanning the room, and he seems to be doing the same thing you are. And then there's that moment where he catches your attention, and he's like, "Huh." And he brings one of the waiting staff, and they're everywhere down here. He pulls one of the waiters over, and it's like whispers in their ear, and then sends them over. And this one person comes over, and they're like, "The gentleman over there, Mr. Dekeb Dinar, he would like to know if you are of House Cheshire?"
You can convey him my compliments on an astute eye, but he has this lady at a disadvantage, as I do not know his house.
Oh, he says he's from House Laurenti. Now you can roll your understand and use your politics specialty.
Okay. Oh, dice, don't fail me. Oh, that's
I'd be able to roll an assistance
oh,
dice.
okay, that's a 7. Yes, that is beneath my understand.
Excellent. So you got at least 2 successes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay. So yeah, you're like House Laurenti. Oh. You're like House Laurenti, minor house servitor to the very formerly House Mauritani.
Oh, motherfucker.
He kind of like grabs a random drink from one of the waiters, and just kind of like salutes you, takes a drink, and kind of like narrows his eyes at you. Who else would like to engage?
I return the gesture.
Mm-hmm. Norma. Oh, actually, Gwillian, you're not here, correct?
I'm doing what I told you already inside way back when we started.
Okay, nothing's changed then. All right.
So then, yes, I am here, but not the way they think.
Norma and Gwillian can both give me observation, discipline rolls, please.
What would be a good thing to match it with?
Truth, I think, would be appropriate.
Double deuces.
You got 20s?
No, 2s.
Oh, you got a pair of 2s. Dang,
And,
okay.
Is this counted for espionage, or would that work for a statement?
It could, actually. It very well could.
Then that would be 4 successes by me.
One moment. I have a lot of threat. You have to understand.
I do not understand. Why would one of our own people give threat to you indefinitely? No reasons.
Yeah, none at all. Second. There's a lot of dice here. Oh, dice. Right. Shit. How many successes did you get?
I got
Sorry.
4.
Yep, 4?
Yep.
Son of a bitch. Okay. You notice something odd, and this is just you analyzing everybody as you normally do. You're just kind of scrutinizing, looking for potential threats, potential problems. Some of the waiting staff are acting a bit weird. You kind of expect the level of competency and stuff to be pretty high here, given where you're at. But you see a lot of the waiting staff are just kind of like oblivious to their guests, or they just seem to be kind of like off staring, like they're looking into the crowd instead of serving, looking for somebody who needs something in the crowd. Some of them are obviously very on top of their game, but some of them within the group are just kind of like just milling about, or just sort of like standing there staring, scanning the crowd. And then they would, you see a pair of them and like sort of conversating with one another in private, and then they split off like blue angels. One goes up one wing, one goes up the other one goes into the hall, down the ways. That's what you
Would I be able to tell what they were looking for?
Unclear. But definitely it's not you. And by the way, how
let me
do
rephrase.
you... Okay.
With hyper awareness, if I spent a momentum, would I be able to know who they were looking for?
Potentially, yes. Real quick question though: how are you dressed to this particular event?
Since we're going in full board, I would be dressed in the full Bene Gesserit. Black on black.
They stay the fuck away from you. Like, they see you coming and they're like, they start heading the other direction. Like, there's obvious like disdain or fear. It's kind of hard to tell from a distance, but they're definitely staying the hell away from you. And you catch conversation like, what were those two doing over there? I was asking for a drink 5 minutes ago, and then one of them just walks by me and keeps walking when I call his attention. I say, this is some service, you know. And you see, like, they just walk right past this person, and the maitre d' is like, I'm so sorry, let me get you, what did you want to drink, sir? And, I was asking for this, and they go, like, right away, of course, and then he pulls some of the other waiting staff's like, that man should have had a drink 5 minutes ago, go, now! And he tells them the name of the drink, he's like, yeah, yes, sir. And he disappears behind a set of doors into the kitchen.
Mentally marker whomever is in this grouping of people not paying, like the wait staff that's not really the wait staff.
Yeah, something's up with some of the waiting staff here, and they seem to be very aware that you're present, and they want to stay as far away from you as possible. Like, they don't want to be in the same zip code.
Use some hand signals to William and do our battle language to the rest of the group as I pass by, just to inform them of which ones in particular are.
William is
suspicious.
in the ceiling and or in the ducts. Up to Eric.
Say
Yeah, he's
then-
not mingling there with you all.
Yes, he is in the ducts.
William is either in the ducts or in the ceiling. Eric never told me. I am not on the floor
Quack.
at all.
Okay, well, I figured my telling you would be the equivalent of just kind of a random hand signal in the air.
If William happens to be watching, unlikely.
I'll leave that up to Eric.
When isn't William watching? When isn't William everyone?
Okay, so that's what you're able to gather from that. Did any of the rest of you want to engage with the other guests in the hall, or did you want to wait until the performance? What did you want to do exactly? I touched on Davos. Did Davos want to do
Davos
something?
would go talk to the pink-haired lady.
Okay. Strike her up. You see, she seems to recognize you actually when she looks over and is like, "Ah, Davos blood, I presume."
Hey.
Danny, call me Danny. She says, reaches out her hand.
Call me
Shakes your
Davos.
Looking
Shakes
to
it
see
back.
who's interested in some of the old world. She says, "There's some cargo from places like Old Terra for starters, original
Oh.
Orange Catholic Bibles, Zenzufi and Zensunni scriptures, Nava Christian artifacts, you name it. You know any
Sounds
buyers?"
interesting. I could find some. Hey, you wouldn't happen to know. You wouldn't happen to know anything about House Carol's dealings, would you?
House Carol. Oh, they haven't been coming up very often recently.
No.
The
bunch of
gossip
loot.
seems to be centered around you.
Oh.
Or House Cheshire, I should say. Been hearing your name dropped in the same sentences as Arrakis. Is that true?
That is true. So, if you need a pal who can slip you some spice, I'd be your man.
I've got my own supply, she says. And then when she kind of like she kind of does something with her eye, and you realize that she has something inserted into her eye to kind of hide something about her eye color. And when she just kind of does like this for a second, and when she slides up like this thing out very easily, you see she has blue within blue eyes. She's a spice addict.
Oh. Well.
But
Interesting.
she's hiding it very well. And she slides the contact back in. She's like, "Yeah."
Well, I mean, seems I need to be talking to you more often.
Well, you keep very good company. Like she motions for one of the waiters to come over, and it's like, "Drink," and she like offers you the.
Not yet. Maybe till after the performance. Need to get the ringing out of my ears.
You don't strike me as an opera fan.
Don't
What are
care
you
for
doing
it.
here?
The missus, Her Grace, wanted to see, and, well, just along for the ride and trying to make a good contact.
I see.
Also, looking for information about, the good smuggles. There's, a lockdown on the tech.
She kind of looks around like, "Oh yes, that roll communication."
Roll communication. Alright. Oh, wow. That's, good. Oh, shit. Look at that. 3 successes. I rolled a 1 and a
That's
2.
one more than you needed. Go ahead and add a momentum.
Okay.
Where you're basically just asking like, are you asking specifically like, where is this person that we need to make contact with?
Yeah, that, basically.
She's just like, "I know who you're talking about," in a very roundabout way. She says, and she takes a sip of her drink, "But he isn't here." And then when she says that, she kind of looks up, and then she kind of pats you on the back, and it's like, "Watch your back out there." Now,
Right.
Vernius is taking a very strong stand against that sort of business around here.
Fair. See you on Arrakis.
See you on Arrakis, she says. Who else would like to interact, as it were, with the dinner guests?
Was there... This was the guy that I'm trying to meet that might have connections to House Carol? Or
That
was...
definitely has connections with the Black Marketeers. He is the person you came here for.
Okay.
That's who she's indicating. It's like, the person you're looking for is up there.
Okay. Is there any way that I could get up there alone, or do I need the entourage?
You may need some additional help, just because there are guards posted throughout the Opera House from House Vernius itself, as far as like the security forces are concerned. And those
Okay.
are VIP rooms. So if you don't have credentials to get in, you're not getting in.
Well, so that sort of leads into what I wanted to do next, which was get closer to the guy who throws this party, whose name escapes me at the moment.
Calum Avor Gosal,
Yes.
the scion of House Vernius.
Yes, I want a conversation with him, and I can totally like have Davos come along with.
Yeah, I will tell Her Grace that the good sandwiches are upstairs.
The thing is, Davos, that you set it up that he was expecting someone from House Carroll.
Don't care.
I mean, they
So how do you sell that? How do you sell that sandwich?
Um,
No, it's fine because we've been sort of setting up this thing of like we're here to fuck over House Carroll, just in a different way than most people are expecting. And so like, oh wow, they snubbed your invitation. That sucks. They obviously don't appreciate you. You know who would appreciate you? Us.
exactly.
Brilliant. Okay, you can have an extra D20 just because that's very clever. Yeah, I would let you do the lead on that then, Daphne, with the communicate test with the house guards. Davos, you can assist. Anybody else who wants to throw in, you can. You just need to throw a single D20. It's a communicate test.
Heck you.
Truth or
Oh.
duty?
Doesn't matter for me. I rolled an 18.
I think
One
duty makes
success.
sense in this case.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, whatever makes sense for your character, really.
All right, I got one success too.
How many total? That's 3.
I think so. So far.
Any 20s rolled?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. 3's pretty good. Second.
Is that a hint that I should bribe you with momentum or threat?
No. I think you got it just fine. One second.
Okay.
I'm just reading a secret message that will doom you all.
God damn it, Pardo.
Oh, it wasn't me this time. I swear.
It wasn't Pardo.
Oh god damn it. Oh god, I'm
Okay.
trying so hard to read Eric's lips.
So you bring that attention to the attention of the guards, and like, oh, is that so? We'll make it so right away. And they send somebody up to make contact. They go into one of the VIP rooms. They're there for like a minute or two, and then they exit. They come back out, and it's like, killing Borgosal. We'll see. Do any of you stick around downstairs while Daphne and Davos go upstairs to meet with the your
Oh,
contact?
I mean, I am in no way trying to duck Lysander right now. Lysander can totally come along.
Okay. So
If you
it's-
tried
at the
to
very
duck
least-
me at this party,
No, because the ducking is just like fun and games, and this is
Okay, so you all
The
go
lady
upstairs.
suddenly is gone and dead.
Do you follow Norma or do you stay downstairs?
I will follow, and as I'm going up, see if I can tell what those specific people are doing as I'm leaving.
As you're leaving the downstairs for the upstairs?
Yeah.
Okay, you actually catch a pair of them that you had spied before at the end of the hallway on the second floor where the VIP rooms are, and they're just sort of kind of like whispering amongst each other, and when they see you rising at the top of the stairs, they just turn around and walk the other way.
Alright. I am doing a good job being
Pardo,
bodyguard
you're also
for
coming along?
Lysander.
Or are you holding out downstairs?
Pardo stayed
We're at
back.
home. To think
Oh, you never
Yeah.
came to the party. Oh,
Never showed up.
okay. Oh no. Okay. All right. So you get let into this room, into this one chamber where these two men and this one woman are sort of standing together on the far side of the room, conversating. Just then, like the bell rings and you see that you hear the doors open up downstairs. They're filling the auditorium. The performance is about to begin. So you hear like the the beginning aria as you're like starting to walk into the room, and you see these two men turn to face you, and there's a woman there, dark skin, dark hair, purple dress. She looks like a courtesan or courtier of some kind, sort of hanging on Calum's right hand side, and Calum kind of looks like this. Trying kind of remember this actor. You know, you'll know him before I do, I'm sure, because I'm terrible at remembering names. But he looks like that actor, and he has a similar British accent when he speaks. And you see, he's just sort of like, oh, I see. I suppose you're from House Cheshire. Dashing look, my lady. You're quite lovely, he says, and he holds out his hand, like, you know, to.
Isn't it Jude Law?
That is Jude Law, yes. Thank you.
Random.
Okay. Yeah.
Trying to stay muted. Daphne will extend her hand and do like the curtsy and like, oh, you are too kind.
Please, we have drinks. And you see one of the waiting staff is there, like holding a platter, and you know, people grab drinks and stuff like that. The woman who's with him sort of says, he kind of introduces you to her. It's like, this is Janice Rama. She's an associate of mine. And she's like, pleasure is all mine. And this, he says, regarding the other man in the room, this is Amon. And this guy looks like a young Raul Julia, slick back hair in a ponytail.
Well, then we can trust him, no questions asked.
Right? He's aces. This guy's the new best friend.
His face is clean, no mustache or anything like that. He's dressed in this sort of dark green outfit, and he has like a green a ring with a green emerald on it, and he's there dressed sort of not like formal but nondescript, and mostly dark shades of green, black boots, you know. He's like, he has a little bit of unusual laugh. He's like, I hear you're from House Cheshire. Is that correct?
We have that honor.
And you see, Caleb's like, you'll have to excuse my eccentric friend. He's a recent business partner. And he kind of bows and curtsies, and he's like, but you have to understand, I've heard whispers that you've been looking for me. I'm in the business of technology, and as I'm sure you're aware, while the technocrats of my world seemingly only approve of the Butlerian prescribed machines, I tend to have a slightly different outlook.
Oh, forgive me if you've only heard whispers. I thought we made our intention quite clear that we're interested in possibly improving our ornithopter technology.
Yes, this is also what I've heard. But coming from the other direction, I heard that House Carroll was interested in it. Here you are. I understand the two of you have a bit of tension, to say the least.
Unfortunate misunderstandings happen all the time. I'm sure you understand.
I do. And he's like, what is it exactly that you are actually here to attain? And he kind of dismisses the help. He dismisses the servant who's there, like holding the tray, and he kind of like looks he kind of like looks over all of you and it's like nods, and he starts heading out of the room, shuts the door behind them. So now it's just your entourage and the three of them. And then that's when he's like, what are you really here to purchase or to procure, as it were?
Well, if we are speaking plainly...
It is safe, he says, and he kind of like points around, like, these are soundproofed rooms, you realize.
I would like to purchase the downfall of House Carroll.
You see, he turns off the speakers that play the music that's piping in from different directions from the auditorium downstairs, and he's like, well, let's talk business then. And you see Amon, as he's called, he kind of paces around the room and looks you all over, and he's like, the progress of technology is inevitable. As such, my house is fully committed and fully invested in emerging technological innovations afforded to us by Ix through the guidance of House Vernius. Begun as a cartel, dealing in illicit goods and trade. But We have since expanded our operations greatly through the generations and have grown into major house status precisely because of our partnership with the Ixians and their technology. And he kind of, Caleb is sort of like, we have an accord, House Ordos and us. Tell us, what exactly did you come to purchase here? I heard whispers of Ferran's 5 on the way here. One of my people ended up encountering some trouble there. I assume you have some knowledge of this.
We don't, and that's really the problem. Our spigot has run dry, so to speak, and we would like to get it running again, and we think an alliance between our house and yours would be mutually profitable.
I agree. He's like, well then, I think we can come to some sort of an accord, as long as we can establish the rules of engagement, so to speak. It's like my world is currently working very hard to make my business more difficult in these times. So discretion is the order of the day, as they say.
I hope we've impressed you on that count.
You certainly have, he says. It's like, so then, let's talk about this. And just as this happens, you see the doors open back up. And that's when he's like, and like you see the woman in the purple dress kind of like stiffens up a little bit and walks closer to the door. And when the door opens, you see that there's a group of these servants. Sire, a moment, if you please. You see, he says, and he kind of brings in one of the other servants alongside him, and you see the one that he's bringing in into the room with others behind him. That guy starts bleeding, and he just sort of like starts to fall on his knees, and you see like when he falls forward, he sort of falls flat on his face with a knife in his back, and the one who comes in behind him looks just like him. They bring out their knives and they advance. Combat time.
Hmm.
You see, all of a sudden, Kalen apprehenses and he like, shit. He starts like searching for something on his person. Amon on the side, he's just like, oh dear. He's like, he reaches into his pockets and pulls something out. It look like these little round spheres that are reflective. And you see the courtesan that's with him, Miss Rama. She like pulls a knife out of nowhere inside of her dress. So you think like maybe she was using it as like a pin or something like that. She like slides it out and it gets into a ready position. All right. So I think it's fair to say that they get the surprise in this particular case, except for maybe Norma. So I'm going to spend threat and have them go first because I have so much of it. Let's see. All right, so one of the bad guys is going to go first, and then we'll trade back and forth, as we usually do. Let's see. There's quite a bit of these base dancers that are coming into this room. Okay. First one goes and tries to throw a knife right at Calum. Actually, it's not a knife. You see, like, the waiting staff guy, his face ripples a little bit, and he brings up his sleeve, and nestled there is some sort of wrist firing mechanism. He just fires a dart right at Calum, tries to move out of the way. He misses just slightly as it goes right over his shoulder. He's going to spend momentum to keep the initiative and have another one of them go, because why not? They really want him dead. Another one goes after Amon. Oof. Okay. You see Calum gets injured actually by one of the face dancers who like rushes in like and just like jumps over the furniture that Calum is behind, and with one swipe a slip-tip knife blade comes out from their wrists, and he like slashes him across the arm. It's like kind of grasps his arm as he's like fumbling for some sort of device on his person, and he kind of flips the the blade around, grabs him, and like tries to like pin him to the wall. And it's like, "You see your death now." And he like starts to bring the blade closer to his face. Now that they've gone, one of you get to go. Who is it?
I would like to do one thing, and that is turn on my personal shield.
That is a very good idea. It's automatically assumed. You can actually already have had that on. Actually, it just depends on how high you tune it. The higher you have the shield tuned, the less stuff can get in. But it's a lot more obvious. Like it has like a bluish haze around it, like it hums. You know, if you keep the shield low, you don't have to turn. You don't have to like, oh shit, I got to turn on my shield. Somebody shoots at me. You can just be on. So I'll actually afford you the wherewithal to say you had it on. You can go ahead and take another action.
Okay. In that case, I will let someone else who is better at fighting go instead.
Okay, sure. All right.
Would you like
Lysander.
me to slice and dice?
I think it is time to
disarm
decide.
some more people.
Yes.
Yes, was my shield on as well?
I think it's presumed that it was, yes, at all times. Just probably
Sweet.
set low. If you need to adjust it, like, oh shit, we're getting into like serious combat, then yeah, you can adjust it. And do your thing.
Was I allowed to take my weapons in?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I do have a talent called improvised weapons, so...
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so, duty and battle. With my focus of long blades.
Yes. He's just kind of like, go to town.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Oh,
What'd you get?
let me add this up real quick here. Damn it. No successes.
No. Oh my. Did you roll a 19 or 20?
Thankfully, no.
Okay, so no complications. But yeah, you take a swipe at one of these face dancers, and they're just like whoop. They move right with the swoop of your blade. Like they're very, very agile. Did you want to keep the initiative? If so, you need to pay 2 momentum or pay me threat in order for one of you to continue to go off of what you just did and take a turn. Otherwise, it's back to the Tlilax.
What do you guys think?
There's easily a dozen of these guys just like rushing the room. Like they're here to kill everybody in here.
Yeah, I think we're F, so go.
Yeah.
Okay. Spend the 2 momentum then if you have it. And who else would like to go right after Lysander?
I suppose
Yeah, no. Devin, go ahead.
All right.
while going after one of the face dancers, I'm going to see if they can, paying attention to the Bene Gesserit finger dance speech as William knows, see if I can just subtly tell them, leave for now, you can take him later, I need him for this moment. Basically seeing if I can get them to just leave for a little bit, let us do our bit, and then they can have him later.
Okay. I'll
Well,
let
at
him
the same time,
process
still
that.
doing an attack.
All right. So you make contact somehow. You can use your communicator. I mean, for Christ's sake. But,
What are
yeah,
you
can
trying
use
to
that
get
and
me
just
to
be
do?
like-
Wait, is this all you?
None of these are me. That's why I'm like, why did you bring up
No,
my
no, no.
name?
I'm using the Bene Gesserit finger speech and seeing if they can understand it as well, since they're
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. I'm not even there.
no. Okay, so you said you want to make that a communicate roll.
In the midst of a battle, yeah, you'd have to make a
Okay.
pretty decent communicate roll, and then whatever else you want to do.
In case you missed that too, Eric, because you said she could use her communicator. She's not talking to me. She's trying to talk to the assassins. Let us have him first and then come back and kill him.
Oh, she's talking to the face dancers?
Yeah,
Mhm.
not me
Yes,
at all.
I'm seeing if they can get
Oh.
this, because
Okay.
they seem scared of me. I'm seeing if I can do this whole, give me 5 minutes, come back. You can, disable a few of them right now, run off for 5 minutes.
Oh, sorry.
And
I misunderstood what you were saying. Okay, they're not here to talk. Like, they're scared of you, but like their number one target is Caleb. The rest of you are
Okay.
fair game. Like, they're gonna slice and dice you to bits.
Okay, then.
Yeah, it's very
just
clear
gonna
what they're here to
straight up
do. They're not like, oh,
Okay.
just wait over there a second while we murder this guy, and then we can, chit chat. Like, they're not
Okay,
here. To...
no ways to hold them off for a minute. Okay, then yeah, I'm just gonna straight up attack. I'm gonna
Alright.
whip out the Shigawire and just go for one of their throats.
All right, go for it. Roll battle.
That is 2 successes. 10 and 7.
Come on. Okay. You matched them exactly. 2 successes. Okay. So yeah. Which do you want to go into against any of the ones that have already gone against Calum or Amon, or are you singling out a different one?
Ones that are closer to us.
Okay,
If we're
so
fair
you just
game, then
Sure.
yeah.
Well, yeah, one of them comes at you with the slip tip knife and like tries to like drive it into you. You just expertly dodge it, and you wrap his arm in Shiga wire, and you pull, and you watch his fingers like just get cut, sliced by it, and they fall all over the floor, dropping the knife like. Ah! And that's when you take the opportunity to just wrap the Shiga wire in reverse grip around his throat, and you pull him to the ground, dead. His head just pops off and rolls. Gone. Expertly done. Now it's their turn. One of them, one of them goes for the woman who has like the knife out and is facing them off before they can trying to intercept them as they go towards the Calum. And he fucking fumbles. Like he tries to go up against this woman and just tries to drive his blade. Like he tries to be fancy with it and like cut her, and she's just like dodging and weaving, and then she surprisingly comes out and like tries to gut him with it. Actually, gonna take a turn now. Oh, okay, interesting. All right, so she offs the one that came up to him and tried to stab him, but and she does so like she moves into his open side, just slides her blade right to the hilt, and then like twists, and you see the face is like ah, tries to drops his blade, tries to like strangle her, and pushes her back towards like the window that looks out over the auditorium, and just then she just like grabs him, like throws him through the window, but he takes her knife with him, like out the window and down below, like. So there's this big disturbance now, and like the house guard's like, what the fuck is going on over there? Okay. Actually, yeah. Alright. So there's one of the face dancers went. They're gonna spend 2 momentum again. Keep the initiative, and another one's gonna go. We're gonna drop 3 more threats. Okay. One of them goes and tries to attack Lysander. So now you've got 2 on you, Lysander. The one that you attacked and the one who's now attacking you. You're pretty sure these blades might be poisoned.
Oh.
So you're just like, shit. One of them comes in 2 blades this time. He tries to get in on your inside and uses the feint to come in with the real attack.
Cool. Cool.
Got a well, okay. Face dancers have 1, 2, 3 successes that you need to beat on your battle roll.
Yeah. So I am definitely going to use determination points
Ha!
for
Excellent.
this.
That'll give you an automatic 2 success, so you just need to make 1 success on your battle roll, and you're good.
Great. Cool. Hopefully I don't die. I also have, of course, my focus with the long blades.
Hi, Lysander, I need you.
Oh, and shield fighting.
Shield fighting, yes. So which actually makes his difficulty to hit 1 higher. That's if if he's attacking you, which in this case, then then yeah, all you would have to do is actually just make a spend a determination point, and you're fine. You can make the battle roll still because you can get extra momentum, which you can share with the rest of your compatriots. But yeah, just doing that is sufficient enough to drop his successes down to 2 instead of 3. So.
Oh, I thought
Good
that was a 1. It was a 7 instead. Dang it! I rolled 1 success. I look at it and I'm like, that's a 1. No, it's not. It's a 7. Dang it!
So you get a point of momentum, and that's good. So yeah, you've managed to expertly block his feint attack, like with the 2 blades that he's got. Okay, that's 2 of them that just went, and now it's your turn. Which one you would like to go next? Davos, perhaps?
Yeah. How many of these face dancers are in here?
Well, currently there's 10.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like they're trying to crowd in, or they're all funneling in through the doors and trying to surround you and take you down individually.
That's a lot of dudes. Huh. 20. Kind of saddle up to the main person and be like, any other way out other than that door?
The Calum? Well,
Yeah.
That's the thing about these VIP rooms, right? Like, there's a set of double doors that lead in, and that's pretty much it.
Oh,
it's
great.
supposed to be like a private room. You have momentum saved up.
Yeah, I'm sure somewhere.
Okay.
No, we are all out of momentum.
That sucks.
I
Wait, I
Lysander
built
just gained
one.
1.
Yeah.
You have like one momentum.
Yeah.
at least.
No. Okay. So I'm going to use this passive scrutiny. Looking around. When you enter the scene, you may ask a question of the game master as if you'd spend a momentum to obtain information. Do I see anything anywhere that's like a way out, an alternate door, something?
There's the window that just got busted open, leading down into the auditorium. That's the most obvious one. I'm gonna say though that there's probably like a dumb waiter. It's like the little pulley system that you could just—it's like a panel in the wall that you pull aside, and like you could fit somebody if they like scrunch up inside, and you can like you basically it's like an elevator for food. It just goes down or whatever, and then they open it up in the kitchen below, and they put a meal or whatever in, then they send it back up. Dumb waiter.
Oh, cool. Does it look like someone can fit in that one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Going to motion to Daphne like at the dumbwaiter. You're neither dumb nor a waiter, nor have no weight jokes. Just in there, real fast.
Okay.
Then
You tell them to go into the thing and like escape. All right.
Yeah,
that's a good
and
idea.
then what's that?
I'm not abandoning you.
You're the most important thing in here, so we'll send if she'll go. We'll ride the dumb waiter down on top of it, I guess, somehow.
We're gonna have to roll off because Daphne's not leaving voluntarily.
God damn it. All right, I'm
Oh,
going to grab
damn.
Daphne.
You try to wrestle her over there. Come on, princess, we gotta go.
Smuggle her out of here. Can I spend determination on this?
If it matches one of your statements, yes, absolutely.
Security of the house, no matter what, I think matches any of the statements I got here.
Yep. You can spend a determination point. That's 2 automatic successes.
2
On top of
automatic
whatever else you
successes.
roll.
Which I got 2 successes. Rolling my 2 dice.
All right.
I have to use the voice.
I will also spend my determination. Upholding my house is everything, and we are not cowards.
Okay. That's oh, Oh man, we're having a roll off here. uh, Duel of the Wills. That might be discipline for you, Daphne, in combat to his check, just because like you're basically like standing your ground in terms of like, no, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving you all here. Forget this. We fight together.
So I already clicked it with my battle, but I got 2 5s, which are
Oh, dang.
not.
All I've got's 2 5s. Fuck it. You know what? If she doesn't want to go, then he's got to go and try to grab Caleb and toss him down. Because obviously
Grab
it's...
Caleb instead and do it. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that each one of the 3 NPCs go anytime one of you goes. So Caleb will go at the same time as you're trying to like escort him to the dumbwaiter. Like, here, get out of here. Says the princess is not coming. Why don't you take it down and get out of here?
Exactly.
Like, an excellent idea. Please excuse me. Well, actually, at the moment, at the time that you go to grab Caleb, he's like facing his death as like a Tyson face dancer is like trying to plunge the dagger into his face, into his throat or whatever. Do you try to do something against the face dancer, or are you going to just be like, get in there? I opened it for you.
No, I'm gonna like get in there and face dancer, whatever. Just
Get in his face?
toss him. Yeah.
Okay. Give me a battle roll.
A battle roll.
And spend some threat on this one. 'Cause
Well,
why
fuck it.
not?
I'm just gonna use the 2 successes I got before. So.
Oh, okay. Well, let me see what I get for this guy. Then. He's at least rolling 2 dice. He gets 2 successes as well. So you made it just on the money. No extra momentum, but you got him. What do you
Fine.
want to do to the face dancer?
Just kick him in the face and try to kick him out the window.
Nice. Join your friend. Yeah, you jump up on the one of the chairs, like went like on its back, like it's at an angle now. So you kind of jump up on that and do a Captain Morgan for a second, and then you kick this motherfucker in the face, like bam, and you see the face dancer screeches like ah, and that's when Caleb finishes him off. You see like he puts something in his ears. And then, like, he flips something up. He attaches. He's got something attached, like behind his like ascot or whatever. He switches something on, and there's like a, and that's when the face dancer. Oh, you just took him out. So there's another face dancer in between you all and the dumbwaiter. He just rushes at him, and the face dancer's like, finally, this one's mine. And then you hear the screech come out of Caleb's mouth when he screams at the face dancer. There's like and there's like a like screeching sound that is whatever the voice pitch is increased by whatever the hell he just has attached around his throat. Is some sort of an amplification, and it cracks the glass nearby. You see the face dancer gets the full effect of this, and it's just like blood's like seeping out of his nose and his ears, and it's like it just kind of crumbles onto the floor. That one's dead too.
All right.
There are currently now. And he takes the opportunity to be like, "See ya." He jumps into he's like, "Amon," and Amon's like, "It's all right, my friend. I'm quite capable of taking care of myself." He jumps into the dumbwaiter, shuts the thing, and you hear the thing go. There are currently now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 face dancers left in the room. You just went. Did you want to spend momentum? Do you have momentum to spend to go to keep the initiative, or did you want to give it back to the bad guys? Because now technically the bad guys get to go.
Yeah.
Get to go.
Yeah, give it to the bad guys.
Give it to the bad guys, sure. The one who tries to make mincemeat out of Amon throws a knife at him. Because he kind of ducks down behind one of the pieces of furniture here, and then he pops back up suddenly, and he's just kind of like gesturing towards him, and he throws a knife, and it goes right through him, and it bends itself on the wall, and it kind of dissipates for a second, and he's just like, the shit, and you see another Amon pops up over here, and and now the face dancers themselves are confused. They're like, what's going on here? And you hear each one of them is doing something different. Like one of them is reading a recipe for like a dish. 2 pheasants for 450 degrees Celsius, and you see the Talax is just like completely confused. And then from the corner of the room where there's like a curtain, there's like a as toast. You see the confused Silax is just like, it's a hologram, it's a fake, and he reaches down, he grabs that metallic sphere, that reflexive sphere, and the image that was projecting of Amon dissipates, and that's when you hear like the coming from the curtain. The curtain moves for a second. There's a hole there, and Amon emerges behind it with a flechette pistol. The Silaxu takes the hit and just kind of like, he fooled me. He just kind of falls back on his, he falls on his back dead. And now it is that was the baddie's turn. It's Amon went, and that means it's your turn. Which one of you wants to go next? I don't think William's gone yet. Would this be when William appears?
Up to them. Who hasn't gone besides me?
I think everybody is
Hello.
gone except for maybe Daphne.
Technically, I don't think Daphne's gone.
Oh,
I'll go
sorry. yeah.
last.
All right. So, you mentioned that the face dancers were facing off against Lysander had poisoned daggers,
Mhm.
possibly poisoned daggers.
Yeah, more than likely.
Okay. Using Prana Bindu conditioning, I would like to sort of slide next to Lysander, pick up one of the daggers, and throw it at one of the face dancers.
Nice. These are weapons against them. I like it. All right, go ahead and roll.
Okay.
battle.
So battle and duty again.
Excellent. Let's spend some threat, make it a little bit difficult for you.
Where did you come
it's a
from?
plus and it's a 2!
Oh,
Ooh, nice. Yeah, Lysander
You
will
got
just
two?
look at Daphne. Where'd you come from?
if you got 2, then you give yourself a momentum because they only rolled 1 success, and they actually rolled potentially a complication for themselves. So yeah, you describe how you take out one of the face dancers.
Yeah, so, after wrestling off Davos, just be like, the captain goes down with the ornithopter! Hands off! Hikes up her skirts, and then just does, like, a baseball slide towards
Awesome.
Lysander, grabs the dagger, rolls over, and just flings it.
Nice.
Uh,
Yeah, expertly so. Like your Norma is probably proud of seeing you do this. Like this is like a technique probably that she taught you, like to be able to like move quickly in combat despite having like all this, like fluffy dress and very restricting dress on. Like you're able to have full mobility. And you easily like flip up the dagger, throw it into the back of one of the Silaxes. Do you target one in particular, like one that's on after Janice or Lysander? I think you said Lysander, right? The one. That's
yeah,
on
the
Lysander?
one who's targeting Lysander. Like, if someone's
Oh,
targeting my house, they die first. And just House Cheshire since they were gone.
You're about to run this one through Lysander, and all of a sudden they go, ugh, and they kind of like fall sideways and onto their side, and you're just like, oh my god. The tables have turned. You've been saved by the person you're supposed to save.
I feel so inadequate. He doesn't say that a lot, but he's thinking it.
Did you want to keep the initiative by spending 2 momentum, or did you want to give it back to the remaining 4 face dancers?
I think we can handle 4.
Yeah, handle 4. Sure.
We
All right.
hope.
The remaining ones see the way the wind is going, and that Calum is already out, and this guy Amon is another thing altogether. So some of them start to exit, and the other 2 exit and try to make their way downstairs to intercept Calum, and the other 2 try to cover for them. The ones that are covering for them have wrist launchers with poison darts, and they basically try to single out one of you individually. One of them will target Janice, actually. And the other one will target Lysander because he's the most. Well, actually, no. One of them will target Norma because they really are scared of you. And the other one will target Janice. So we'll spend some threat on them. Just two threat spends. Here we go. All right, Norma, Lysander. Lysander needs to. Okay, you're. All right, excellent. All right, you both get attacked successfully. Roll battle or movement, whichever is better for you, to try to get out of the way of the incoming dart because they're quite fast. And Janice. I see. Janice made it handily. Janice rolls out of the way just as one of the darts is coming for her, and she managed to she does like a full-on combat roll. Norma, the more you see this Janice woman, Rama woman move, the more you're convinced that they might be Bene Gesserit trained. See, she launches into a full roll, comes up, and gets into a ready position. What did you get on your roll?
I got 1 success.
That's all you needed. I rolled terribly again as usual.
Oh yeah.
So the place dancer only, and that's that I spent Thrent. So yeah, they only you only needed 1 success to move out of the way just in time. They start reloading their wrist launcher and start heading back out the doors. That's them. They're gonna spend 2 momentum to go again. Actually, they already did. 2, 2, 1. So that's 5 left. Okay. Yeah, they already spent because 2 of them went. Now it's back to you all. Now I think Bullion can make their appearance.
I'm last. Pardo goes.
Pardo's not there though, isn't he?
Pardo's over in somewhere, scheming.
Scheming.
How many of the Tleilaxu are left?
4. 2 are running downstairs to intercept Calum, and the other 2 are keeping everybody else in the room with the fire.
How much momentum do we have?
Rachel?
2.
2 left. Oh.
I will spend them both. All of my agents act on my turn. 2 of them intercept the 2 on the stairs, and then myself and the other one are going to kill 2 of the 4 left in the room. We all have
Fantastic. Wow. All right. Roll for them. These are the one of them is a face dancer and one of them is just a spy, right, or infiltrator.
2 are assassins. 1's an infiltrator. They're all face dancers.
Oh, interesting. Okay, got it. All right, go ahead and roll.
Guys on the stairs got 3 successes each to hit with poison needlers.
Oh shit! 1 second. So I'm gonna spend for those 2. I'm gonna spend 2, so that puts right down to that. They're each gonna roll 2 dice. 3 successes. One of them absolutely gets taken out. The other one, though, like as you go to intercept him and shoot him, like he has like one of those trays. He flips it upside down and uses it as a shield as the needlers come at him, like and he tries to like use that to just kind of push through your asset. So another threat to act immediately, and that puts him at 2. Try to get away. I got 2 successes. Roll.
The asset automatically gets 1 because all of my assets are at +1 enhancement.
Oh shit!
So he got
only
3.
Get to roll 1 success. Oh yeah. So then you get 2 momentum.
No, he got 3 total,
Yeah.
so he got 1 momentum.
Oh, okay, got it.
If I needed 2 to beat you, then I only got 1 extra.
Okay. So he tries to bowl over your asset on the stairs, and they manage to he pushes you up against the wall, and he tries to throw them over, and they're like easily like swing back around and jump back onto the banister. Did you want to keep the initiative and spend some additional momentum, or no?
I haven't finished my turn yet. There's 2 more of us.
Oh, that's right. You have like a small army of spies.
4 successes for the infiltrator to put a bodkin in the Tleilaxu's neck and relieve him of his carotid artery.
Oh.
Messily
It's
as
almost
possible
gone.
so the other Tleilaxu sees it.
Yeah. 4 successes? Yeah,
Yeah.
he's dead. He's super
That
dead.
automatic for increased quality is amazing.
Whew. Wow. Yeah, so your 2 very effective assassins intercept the Tleilaxu face dancers that are coming down. One of them immediately goes down with this needle gun, just and tumbles down the stairs, dropping their weapons. The other one tries to push your asset over. They grab onto like one of the overhanging banners, swings back around, and as they like jump back onto the banister, they use one of their own weapons, their flechette pistols, and just flechette them in the back as they're heading down to like where the kitchen is. The doors that open up into the kitchen to intercept Calum. He just gets it in the back, like tumbles down the stairs, dies. Gone. So the only
And
2
then-
face dancers that are left, one of them is on Norma, and the other one is on the courtesan.
And then there's still me.
and then there's still you. Do you make an
I-
appearance or no?
I murdered the one that's on Norma with 5 successes because my needler is quality rank 3 now.
I'm not even gonna roll. Yeah, like you see someone.
The most
There's a
customized
movement.
needler in the Imperium.
There's movement over by the broken window. Somebody's like slides down on some rope, some Criskel rope, and just drops down. It's of course William with the hooded look and everything, and the needler goes off just as Norma's about to be attacked again by one of the remaining Thylax, who just falls back dead, foaming at the mouth from the poison from the Parma poison.
And then
The last
I am
one-
going to spend 2 momentum to keep the initiative, and I will spend
Ah.
one threat to you because I think that deprives us of momentum.
Sure.
Unless you got momentum on these rolls, we're out.
I picked up 2 from my 5 successes.
Carry on then.
And then I give you 1 threat
Okay.
to kick in my feet, which allows me to move 2 units of space subtly. All 4 of us disappear like we were never there.
He just disperse back out. Oh
Yeah.
shit! Yeah, he's just melt
After
into
I
the
wink at
background.
Norma.
Janice finishes the last of the Thylaxu face dancers off as they're going at each other. She delivers like a devastating kick to their like upper sternum, and when he drops like this, he tries to like block another hit, and she just comes in, grabs him, puts him in a headlock, and just smashes his head against the wall and drops him. It's kind of. She gets on a communicator. Caleb, are you all right? And you hear over the comm, I'm all right. Thanks to you. Thanks to House Cheshire, I suppose. With the violence being over for now, you see the room, the upstairs is awash with House Vernius guards. They come in with their last guns and like, Thylaxu face dancers, by gods. And you see there's a big, commotion going on in the auditorium. The whole production is stopped, and a bunch of the guests are like, oh my goodness, and like they're being escorted through like the emergency exits through the back and stuff. Obviously, they want a word with all of you as to what the hell just happened in that room. Let's see. They storm in and they start asking questions.
It was House Carol. They totally wanted to have a meeting with you.
Yes, we're gonna carry that forward.
You see,
Yep.
in the time they try to run this series of interrogations inside this room with a lot of you in them. Eventually, even Pardo gets roped into this. You're back on your quarters, Pardo, and like doors just open. There's no call or anything like that. House Vernius guards are there with las guns, and they're like, "You're coming with us." Your entourage was attacked at the opera house. So we require this is a full security clampdown. Come with us in the ground car.
I know nothing of this, but
And I'm sure
Very
you
well.
don't. They push you into the back, and they start moving towards a different location other than the opera house. All right. So you're sort of hailed as heroes by Calum and his consort. And let's see. You see, the one thing he keeps repeating, or one thing he mentions during the questioning that takes place in the little VIP room to the security personnel. How exactly did all these face dancers manage to make it to Ix in the first place and pass all of that security to get within striking distance of a house mage's scion? And you see the security captain's kind of like has this disgraced look on his face, like, I'm sorry, my lord. We've arranged for an ornithopter for yourself and your guests to board and to leave at your leisure. I'm terribly sorry for the lapse in security. He's
Didn't
like,
answer the question.
Yeah, right, exactly. He's like, you didn't answer my question, Captain. I was like, I'm sorry, my lord. It's like, we're still gathering the facts as of right now. When we have more information, we'll let you and your entourage know, of course. And he's like, I'm terribly sorry for what happened here. Allow me to try to adjust the situation. Come with me. And it's like, well, make sure that you're taken somewhere safe. They escort you to the very top of the opera house. Very large, expansive area on the roof. Very big military-style ornithopter up there, with the House Vernius banner seal on the side of the door that it opens up. They run a pre-flight check. They're making sure everything's ready. When you're ready to go, they'll accompany everybody on board the ornithopter and get everybody ready to head out. Meanwhile, Pardo is taken to to the destination where the ornithopter is supposed to be going to eventually. So you're basically just there waiting inside of a building for the rest of the entourage to arrive. With that, they sort of board you onto the thopter, and they start preparing the pre-flight. Is anybody going on the ornithopter, or does anyone opt out of it? You notice that although Caleb and his courtesan is here, Amon is not currently present. The last you saw of him was right before the security forces came in. He was like, "I need to go," and you see Caleb was like, "I understand," and he sort of left. You see he just sort of exit stage left, and they didn't either. If they saw him, they let him go, or they just didn't see him. You don't know how that happened, but they completely went by the way. He completely went by the wayside and just disappeared. Anybody not getting on the ornithopter?
My lady, I don't trust this.
I'm on the ornithopter, but you should check your side.
We did just save their lives. I would not fear betrayal in this instance.
Not betrayal. The face dancers might have expected something like this to happen and possibly sabotage the ornithopter.
We could ask to inspect it.
If anybody knows how to tell a Talitsu face dancer from a non-Talitsu face dancer, would be Norma, you would imagine.
That giggle scares me.
Hold on, Norma.
Tyler.
Hold on, Norma.
I sense a lot of secret messages this evening.
So many secrets.
In case you use your power, you'd see that.
Okay. Well, for the Lysander question, how much momentum do we have? None? Oh man. Then I can't use that hyper awareness power.
Can't buy it with threat. Threat generates momentum.
It does. You can always buy
Sure.
threat from me. You're a wholesaler.
Doesn't seem to be doing many good tonight anyway.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
true.
can't compete with 5 successes, man.
No, I meant all those botches before I even got involved.
I
Oh,
rolled
yeah.
a couple 20s naturally for the good and the bad guys. Yeah. That's how
Okay.
that goes.
Sure,
Also, the
then-
audience is giving you momentum.
Oh, are they?
Not to you, to Norma.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Spank, my buddy. Then sure, I will use that to answer Lysander's question of if there's any form of sabotage going on the Thopter having happened.
Any?
Seems
Sorry, what was that?
incredible risk.
Has the Thopter been sabotaged? Slash, are there enemy face dancers?
Also,
Oh.
bombs is what I was thinking.
You inspect the flight crew personally. No face dancers here.
And to the Thopter being sabotaged at all?
It does not appear to be sabotaged at all, actually.
Okay, I'll relay that to Lysander as I have done your security check and
Yeah.
proven that it is safe.
I think I'll check for myself, thank you.
You're free to roll.
Oh, now you're willing to check.
That's fine.
Just everybody get on the goddamn ornithopter and let's get the fuck out of here.
You're always trying to take my job. Well,
Because you're not doing it yourself.
what do I roll for this? Is
The
it...
drama begins. Well, this would be an understand. Oh, actually, this would be discipline to notice like sabotage. I would imagine because you'd have to be like very vigilant on what's going on.
Understand, I do have danger sense.
I'll let you roll that. Sure, absolutely.
Understand, and I'm assuming duty to protect my house.
Yeah, perfect sense. Yeah.
7 and a 15. Let's see, 8. So only one success.
No evident means of sabotage. You look at it and you're just like, I don't see anything wrong. Norma doesn't see anything wrong. There's no face dancers here. I think we're okay.
Not sabotage per se, but something added that's not normally there.
This whole situation smells bad to you personally.
Yes, it
because
does.
You made it under your skill, right? You made it under your skill?
Yes.
Yeah. Your danger sense is going off. You're just like, there's something we're missing here. I'm not quite sure what it is. It's almost like you've played into somebody's hands, but you don't see how that could have happened. You saved the person you came here to find and make contact with. They're with you, and they're actually coming with you onto the Ornithopter. Their house guards are flying the Ornithopter, so you're just like,
If only we had a
Something's not-
loyal Mentat who could help us with that.
I know, right? Who could calculate the
If
The
odds?
only.
insinuations are just flying this session. Oh my
Is this
goodness.
Thopter of
I-
our design?
No. Oh, it could be.
I want to know if I could do a house politics roll. What the fuck did these guys do to get 20 face dancers sent after them? Because that's
That's what
something I
Caleb
wanna
was
know.
saying. That's some shit. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, I don't think what you're missing is sabotage. They're not going to blow up the helicopter. Whatever is being missed is something else. Most likely, it'll make a lot of sense to kill the guy in the helicopter and frame us. Or some other Machiavellian nonsense like that. They're not going to blow you up.
Yeah.
That's
assist
too
in that
simple.
Role,
So
the house politics role.
can I make an understand truth roll to that end of like, the fuck did they do to get 20 face dancers after them?
It's gonna be a tough roll, but yes, you can.
Okay.
Or add one success.
I'm not gonna
your
tell you the difficulty.
roll.
Alright. One success.
You're not sure, but something tells you that perhaps Caleb wasn't the only target this evening.
Oh, so Mon was more of a target, Mon. Maybe.
Gasp, it was Davos.
I mean, I did
You have
make
enemies?
a lot of.
Oh,
I do. So many.
I do have a boost from Spank My Betty, so can I roll again?
Yes, you may.
I think you should
Okay.
spank it harder.
Then
Great name, by the way.
Did I hear correctly that I got help from Norma on this one?
Yeah. I gave you one.
Okay, and a 9, so that's another success, not double one, but so that would be 3 total.
3? Norma, did you roll successfully or no?
Yes, I rolled successfully.
You rolled 4 successes.
No, I rolled successfully.
Ah. Okay.
Norma made it 3.
I see. Okay. Yeah, from what you can tell, like, there was definitely a secondary target, but you don't think you think that maybe what happened here with the Thylaxu was a prelude to something else, but you're not. The whole thing doesn't stink like a Thylaxu plot. Not the whole thing. There's then coupled with Lysander's general feeling of unease, like there's still another threat out here, and I just don't know what it is yet. That it's also sticking into the back of your mind as well. Like you're not sure exactly who or what it is, but it's present somewhere.
Is there only one ornithopter that we are being evacuated with?
Yes, in this particular case, it's only one because it's a large ornithopter. It's a military style ornithopter, like it's armor plated and it's got like gun attachments and stuff. It's like it's actually reminiscent of the ones that you saw House Aingeru fly back on Ishia, if you recall. What?
If it's them, we're bailing.
No. I'm saying the style is reminiscent of that.
No, that's enough for me to bail.
Something tells Daphne, I'm not getting on this ornithopter. Is anybody else? And you see Caleb is just like, are you sure?
I
You
will
don't feel safe.
fully back Lady Daphne
If
on
the
this.
lady's not, then
Lillian staying within 200 yards.
We have our own escape route. We'll speak again in a few days.
Okay. So you're heading out. you're like, we'll take our own transport out that way, and Caleb's like, of course, I understand. Please, I would like to make contact with you over the course of the next few days, if you don't mind. Are you staying at the annex?
Are we staying at the annex?
Yeah, you're all staying at the annex right now, where
Uh,
all the dignitaries and merchants and stuff like that stay.
Yes, you can find us there.
Very good. I'll send for you shortly, he says. And with that, he goes to get into the ornithopter and
Dies. I mean,
you see the so I'm guessing everybody moves with Daphne, and you leave the opera house intact.
It's time.
sure.
Head back. Are you okay? So Pardo, you see the security group that stuck you in the room is just like, trip's been canceled. You're moving back. You're moving back. So they have to like drive you all the way back to where the annex is. Like, okay, you've been dismissed, whatever, and then you'll be debriefed afterwards. Eventually, you'll all meet back up at the annex, and shortly thereafter, there's a knock on the door when you're all cloistered together in the suite. Somebody goes to answer the door, and there's a small black box sitting on the floor. What is that? And
Don't touch it.
There's a note attached to it, and there's also a small like plastic container. It's opaque, but there's a very obvious note on it, and it has the seal of House Vernius on it, and this is like for Daphne, and it's signed C.
I don't trust anything right now. I would prefer to open the box instead of Daphne.
Okay, that's fine.
Open the note first.
Okay, note first and then box.
Note first. It says, I really can't thank you and your people enough for saving our skins back there. As a show of good faith, I'm willing to assist you and your house in whatever way I can. Call it a favor for a favor. The probe we developed is state-of-the-art, obviously. There's nothing else out there like it. Similarly, there's no known work around to keep it from extracting information from someone, alive or dead. But there is one substance in particular that really makes it next to impossible for memories to be extracted from a target. Share, and it's spelled Shere. It is extremely difficult to find and expensive, but it may be able to help you with your intelligence problems. Careful though, it tends to come out in the eyes with orange flecks when one gets very emotional. If you're going to introduce it to your field operatives, may I suggest a complimentary concoction to help balance their nerves, or perhaps those Bene Gesserit exercises I hear so much about. I'm sure we can work together in the future. Here's the house, Cheshire. I look forward to doing business with you again soon.
I'm fairly certain we can open the box.
Actually, so the note was just to kind of like tell you that it was him sending you a message, and that it has like his official signature or seal or whatever, that you don't expect a bomb to go off in your face or whatever. But the thing that he sends you is something called a memo quarter. Basically, these are little tiny handheld black squares that store written messages. And basically what the originator of the message does is they take a little needle or something like that, and they write the word onto the surface of the box, one at a time, until the message is complete. The box absorbs each of these words, and the message is read through nerve receptors. So there's a little bit of trust when it comes to accepting a message from someone sending you a memo quarter, which means you have to basically make skin contact with the sides of the box and sort of like absorb the message, as it were. So you're kind of like, okay. And you basically, the way that this works is you take your gloves off and you put your hands on the side of the box, and that's when each one of those words that I just read out to you flash right before your eyes. No one else is privy to this information except you. Once you read the information, it's gone. What do you do with that?
I'm the one who grabbed the box.
Correct. I'm assuming though you didn't try to absorb the message, unless that's what you wanted to do.
Lysander is not willing to put Lady Daphne in any position of vulnerability with the recent attack and the sketchiness of the ornithopter.
Sure.
So he would take in this message
Okay.
and relay
Fair
it.
enough.
He would relay it fully in whatever it was as well.
Excellent. Okay. So you relay it to the best of your ability. You're like, this is what the message basically said. With that out of the way, you now have that's the thing that's inside the opaque container. It smells weird when you like, just even as soon as you pick it up, before you even open it, it has like a weird odor to it, like a bitter smell. But inside there are little capsules, little tiny plastic containers, and inside there's these translucent looking capsules are packed with like this strange smelling orange dust. It's not melange though, and that's what you suspect Gorsan meant about this share property. It's a chemical thing that is introduced into your nervous system and basically makes it impossible for the enemy to extract your memories through that Ixion probe. So he's basically like, you came here to get to find a workaround for this intelligence leak that you were experiencing. Here's a way to counteract that. And that's what he gives you in terms of like, what, as a parting gift. Obviously, there'll be more of that sort of thing if you decide to develop this particular relationship with him specifically, not so much House Vernius, because obviously House Vernius has issues when it comes to this sort of technology being smuggled about in the black market, as it were. Is there anything that you do while you're still on Ix before you head? I'm assuming you're start making plans to head back to Jabberwock at this point.
Yes.
Okay. Anything specific that you do on Ix before then, or you just start making preparations to leave?
I will warn Lysander that Pardo seems to have it in for him.
What did he do now?
He's blackmail against you.
Really?
Uh-oh. That meeting is a little bit awkward on board the lighter that is supposed to be going up to the Hayliner later on when you all board it and get ready to get back to Jabberwock, as it were, to go on that trip.
Take a time where it's just me and Lysander.
So it's a private, like, okay.
Yeah.
It's still tense though, like him knowing that, and then being in the same room with Pardo on the trip back to the Hayliner. You have orders, as it were, to handle this sort of business back on planet before the Duchess, I would imagine. Excellent. All right. So as you're getting onto the lighter, it starts to get ready. They do the flight check. Everything starts getting ready. You're off into the Hayliner. Okay. Very well done. I think everybody has earned, to some extent, a advancement point at this stage, just because of everything that went on earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right. There's a lot that's going to happen after this when you get back to Jabberwock, of course, but that is all the time that we have for this particular session.
Gasp.
I hope everyone here and those watching enjoyed the show. Because we have other shows lined up on Monday that want some love, Dune Houses of the Landsraad will be taking a hiatus until later this year in November. So around the time of the new film release, fingers crossed, we will return to the Imperium and see how House Cheshire fares when they inevitably travel to the dangerous sands of Arrakis. My personal thanks to our fans, our patrons, and our incredible cast for helping to create and make this show, and many like it, truly an awesome adventure. In the meantime, you should absolutely check out the hilarious They Came from Beyond the Grave, which will play on this time slot in BGM by the one and only Voodoo Arcade. After that, we will be getting into a deep and dark Delta Green campaign that I will be running afterwards. It's espionage and Cthulhu, so come check it out. If you enjoyed tonight's program, feel free to check out our other awesome adventures and terrifying tales. In the way of awesome adventures, Tuesday we have Exalted Essence Kickstarter on the Onyxpat channel. Wednesdays brings us the fan favorite Fallout, Radioactive Summers, run by our Space Lord Pajamas here. And for Terrifying Tales, check out Chronicles of Darkness's Mage the Awakening on Tuesdays, Alien the RPG Acid and Ice on Thursdays, Contagion Chronicle 2 continues on Friday, along with Ravenloft Torment. On Saturdays, we have Symbaroom and Necrobiotic. Finally, Sundays, we bring you Unknown Armies and the V20 Anniversary Chronicle, Starlight and Smoke. And now for those of you that stayed after the credits rolled, it's time to vote for favorites. All players in this game can select another player as their favorite for that session for any reason. Recipients get a reward in the form of 1 advancement point for their character. For viewers, voting is open as well, so you too can choose a new favorite each week for all of our shows. But you have to be quick. Voting for the session ends just after our closing reel finishes, so be sure to cast your votes in the Twitch chat as soon as you can. Beginning with Rachel, who played Daphne this evening. Who was your favorite and why?
Oh. Wow.
I hear that a lot these days.
I mean, I gotta give it up for Key. Like, I still don't know what you're doing or why. And this vote will probably come, back to bite me, but take it, you dirty, dirty scoundrel.
Well done. Devin, who played Norma.
I don't want to give it to Key, but also, more so, I want to give it to Rachel because of... No, I'm not going to go in the dumbwaiter. I got to save my house. What the fuck are you talking about?
There's 6 people already in there doing that.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But I'm the most important.
Key, who played Pardo this evening, had a little bit of more of a subdued role in the whole affair. Who's your favorite one?
I feel like I'm going off of an assumption here, but I have to give it to Gwillian. He knows why.
Oh, he knows why, I'm sure.
He knows why.
Ever, who played Lysander?
Yeah. Key, if you weren't such a dirty rascal, I'd give it to you this session. But
Aw, but I'm such a dirty rascal. I'm sorry. I'm betraying everybody. Ooh, I'm sorry.
Oh god, plot twist, I find out that Key is not betraying everybody and are actually helping, and then I feel bad.
Well, plot twist.
Anyway,
That chess game.
I am going to give it to Daphne, Rachel, for saving Lysander. That was what?
That was
What?
great, is what it was, yes.
What?
Very appropriate.
I mean, sometimes when you retreat, it's tactical, and sometimes when you retreat, it's cowardice. And Daphne felt like this would have been a cowardice retreat, and so she wasn't gonna do it.
Nice. And Sean, who played Davos.
I'll give it to Daphne for wanting to stand and fight.
Yeah. Last but not least, Tyler, who played William.
Pardo
many
valiantly tried to outspy the spy. There's no idea how much shit he's in. So you get my vote. Because you did not succeed.
Ooh.
Another for Key. Nice. All right. Excellent. Well, I've been Eric at Mormon Recluse on Twitter. You can find me here next Sunday for V20 and Unknown Armies. Big thanks, as always, to our patrons for supporting what we do. If you want to be awesome and do the same, check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/WorpleTales and keep up to date on what we're doing throughout the month by checking the updated calendar on WorpleTales.com. Thanks to you, our viewers and fans, for tuning in.